And an interesting thing, you talk about how players seem to move on, and that really seems to be kind of a recruiting issue that I talked with the head coach a little bit about, and we'll get to that conversation in a moment. But mentioned to him, and I'll mention to you too, kind of seems like a chicken and the egg kind of thing, where it's easier to recruit top players if you can point to a winning culture on the field, but then it's also easier to get back to winning if you can recruit those top players. So kind of a hole in the bucket kind of cycle like that.
It definitely is, and this, hopefully he found enough rookies in this first cycle that you need character guys whose goal is to build the program, is to be the leaders of the program from day one. And if you can get enough of those guys, I think they can rebuild the program and it should work out for them. But if you get guys who are just, they're in it for themselves, or they're trying to use this to make their next step in their football life, a lot of those guys just lose interest real quick, and then that feeds into a negative atmosphere in the locker room that you just can't have.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting thing here tonight offensively for the Huskers. Of course, they put up 8 points in their Week 1 matchup against the Kamloops Broncos, but have been shut out in each of the last 2 weeks. That a big thing for them because, as you mentioned, their defense, and I talked to the coach about this too, their defense has had bright spots, has lots of bright spots, but when they're on the field for as long as they've been at times in games this year, that's just a tough situation to be in terms of trying to keep the points off the board.
Yeah, it's especially being a defensive guy myself, it can get very disheartening very quickly if your offense gets 2 or 3 2-and-outs in a row. You start sucking wind real quick, and suddenly your reads aren't as good. It's harder to make your breaks. Everything just turns down a level, and by the fourth quarter, that really starts to show. Yeah.
Well, I want to touch briefly before we head to the coaches, just on some faces on the Sun side. We'll get to the starting quarterback talk with head coach Ben McCauley, so we'll save that for him. But a few new faces in the Sun lineup here tonight. A big one was the big receiver on last year's team who is likely going to see at least a little bit of action here tonight. That's Shamar Donaldson. He'll be wearing number 3 out there, and coaching staff saying he's just itching to get in a ball game here, and is finally going to do that. Got injury out of main camp, and this is going to be his first action here tonight. Kind of an interesting week for it because, like you talk about, it's a game where if the score starts to build up, you expect starters to get taken out, some rookies to get put back in. From a coaching standpoint, it's kind of difficult, isn't it? Because you want to get injured vets like Donaldson back in there, but you also want to get your rookies some game experience and have that cycle going as well.
Yeah, this might, depending on the coach's mentality, this might be almost an ideal situation from the coaching perspective. As a player, it'll be really frustrating, but just to be in a game where you can get him in for the first quarter and have your goals that by the end of the first quarter, you don't have to rely on those starters, so you don't worry about any tweaks from just the last couple days of an injury where you feel like you're 100%, but your strength isn't quite back up there yet.
Well, we'll take a quick break here from the Apple Bowl, but coming up, as usual, we'll get to a conversation with both head coaches tonight. That's Ben McCauley of the Okanagan Sun, Bob Reist of the Valley Huskers. That's coming up next on the pregame show ahead of kickoff between the Sun and the Huskers right here on AM 1150.
It's employee pricing at Orchard Ford, and right now you pay what Ford employees pay on Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 51 years. You get employee price adjustments. Plus, eligible Costco members can get an additional $1,000 towards most new F-Series. Get behind the wheel of a 2017 F-150 Platinum 4x4 Super Crew Demo for $60,884 or 0 down and $369 bi-weekly for 84 months. Tough, smart, capable, undisputed. Employee pricing is back at Orchard Ford on Highway 97 North and at orchardford.com.
You can rely on the Kelowna Mr. Lube team to ensure your vehicle is ready for those long road trips or just in-town driving with fluid and filter changes and so much more. Get fast, convenient oil changes, no appointment necessary, and enjoy full tire service with the same no appointment status. Plus, they're open late till 8. Take good care with Mr. Lube Kelowna, across from Superstore behind Skogie's. And coming this fall at 948 McCurdy Road, proud supporter of your Okanagan Sun.
When you have Big Steel Box, moving and storage are almost too easy. From kickoff to the final play, they're on your team. They'll drop the Big Steel Box off at your place. Then you pack it at your pace, and when you're ready, give Big Steel Box a call to come pick up the box and move it or store it. Simple and secure. Big Steel Box is a better way to move and store your stuff. Check them out at BigSteelBox.com. Proud supporter of the Okanagan Sun. Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
I knew it was a pretty special project. Just the way it was situated, the view is stunning. It's a really nice house.
Gord Turner on the house his team built that won House of the Year at this year's Tommy Awards.
The way the deck flies out off the house, and it's got this thin foil look that the architect was looking for. And again, I can't say enough, our team, we helped them pull that off.
To see this dream home for yourself or to book Turner Custom Homes to build your next dream home, visit turnercustomhomes.ca.
Jay and Dan are back on TSN.
You know, Dan, a lot of people told us they grew up with us in the morning, but here's the exciting part for you, and I don't know if you know this. We're going to be live all throughout the night and the morning. So we're going to be live for 12 straight hours on TSN every day.
I did not sign up for that. New show, same guys. Sports Center with Jay and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons. September 4th at 9 on TSN.
That's why Tim Hortons is sponsoring us. That jolt of coffee, that'll get us through that 11th hour.
Under the helmet and between the 50s. This is your all-access pass to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl in Kelowna, site of Week 4 BCFC action between the Okanagan Sun and the Valley Huskers. About 20 minutes or so from kickoff here as we head to our conversations pregame with the head coaches of either side. So we'll start with our visitors today from Chilliwack. And as we mentioned in the last segment there, they've gone through 3 head coaches the last 3 years. Has definitely been a turmoil at that position. And the man in charge this year comes to the team from Manitoba. That's Bob Reese, who played back in the BCFC back when with the Abbotsford Air Force. So he is a graduate of this league. His football career took him to the University of Manitoba, where he was on the coaching staff there. He is now in Chilliwack, first-year head coach with this team. So had lots to chat with him about sort of the long-term direction of this team as well as what their goals in the short term are. Here is head coach of the Valley Huskers, Bob Reese, chatting pregame here today.
So I guess first question here, obviously, this year, first year with these guys, how's it gone up to this point in terms of where your expectations were at?
That's an interesting question. As far as our expectations, I think in certain aspects we're meeting them and where we thought we would be, and I think we're doing, in some parts, excelling in expectations. Obviously not in the win-loss or in some of the other statistical categories that we'd like to see improvement on. We're probably not meeting our expectations there. So I think it's a bit of, in some senses we are, and certainly in other senses we are not. So there's obviously a lot of room for improvement. But hey, we have a plan and we're staying the course, and I think in some aspects we're really reaching that right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a program that's kind of tried to find its legs over the last few years, and for you coming in as a first-year head coach with a lot of first-year players too, how does that change how you coach this group?
Yeah, I mean, you really have to think about what you're saying, because we do have such a high number of first-year kids. We started this team this year with 13 returning players, and we had a very good recruiting class, but we had a recruiting class that's a regular recruiting class, and then when you start with 13 guys, your team is going to be very young. So in our approach, we try to remember that and really focus on learning rather than berating guys, you know what I mean? So that's kind of been our focus. It's been paying off, and hopefully we'll continue to do so.
In terms of the recruiting side of things, do you kind of find that it's sometimes a chicken and the egg kind of thing where it helps to recruit if you can point to on-field success, and it helps on-field success if you are successful recruiting?
Sure. I mean, in an ideal situation, yeah, absolutely. In the situation we're walking into, we don't have that luxury. Clearly with the win-loss record over the last few years recruiting, you can't really turn and say, hey, listen, look what this team did last year. And you sort of look to the future. You want kids that come in here and want to build something, build something for themselves and really turn this thing around. And I think we've done a great job of getting good character kids in here that are willing to stay the course. Like these kids don't quit. We're 0-3 and everybody wants to write us off already, but these kids don't quit. They don't quit on themselves, and we'll see that again.
In terms of the matchup here today, obviously you're going up against a tough D today. What did you work on with your group to try and get that offense going?
We need to complete our assignments on offense. We're killing ourselves a lot. Certainly we've played some good defenses, and they've done a good job of shutting us down, but a lot of it is we're killing ourselves. We're taking penalties at crucial times. We're missing assignments or blowing assignments at other crucial times. And that's putting our defense in very tough spots, and then, by the end of the game, we're sort of worn down. So that's something that we really focused on this week is, hey, just focus on what we do, be assignment sound, and let the rest of it take care of itself.
I wonder about the defensive side of the ball, too, because I think if people just looked at the results that you've had so far, they'd make a lot of assumptions about how the defense might have played, but in sort of looking more at it, it really seems like there's a lot of positives in that defensive group. But, I mean, when they're on the field as much as they are, it was tough to really put the results up.
Absolutely. I mean, like you say, you look at, we average 40 points against per game, and that's not very good. But there are a lot of good things that our defense is doing. And if you do analyze games, our starting field position on defense has not been very good. So it's actually, our defense is playing very well, despite field position and things like that. And then I think we truly lean on those guys to carry our team, and we're hoping that we can get a little help on the offensive side of the ball and give those guys more of a rest and, let them play a more complete game. We want to see what we can do then.
And going into these next two games, obviously you've got the Sun here this week. You've got West Shore next week. What are the key things that you're looking at for your group to show you, I guess, in these next couple of weeks?
Again, we go back to just being assignment sound. We want to see ourselves progress. And right now, finishing our assignments and not busting on assignments and shooting ourselves in the foot is a huge key for us right now. So that's our focus. We're not looking at West Shore right now. Clearly, we got Okanagan this week, and that's where our focus is. But yes, completing assignments and not hurting ourselves.
And what about for you? Has it been even kind of fun this year, being the head coach and taking on that new responsibility for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an experience. It's a learning curve for me. Obviously, this is my first head coaching gig. But yeah, I'm having a great time. Again, we go back to the character of our team is awesome. We have a great really young team that has a lot of character, and we're very optimistic about the future of this program.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time today, and good luck going forward.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
That's Bob Reese, head coach of the Valley Huskers, chatting pregame today about his program and how they're looking going forward. Take another quick break from the Apple Bowl. Come back with the head coach of the Okanagan Sun, Ben McCauley. That's next right here on AM 1150.
As Kelowna's premier commercial real estate brokerage, Colliers International is focused on creating value for their clients. Let Colliers help you with complete end-to-end service, from consulting and appraisal to brokerage and project management. Colliers International will help you buy, sell, lease, and manage your commercial and investment property. Colliers International, commercial real estate solutions to accelerate your success. Proud sponsor of the Okanagan Sun. Visit collierscanada.com.
Rona is a proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun and a strong community supporter. They're ready to help you tackle every project you've got. Think Rona for every job, from renovating the house to upgrading the bathroom. Whether it's a huge undertaking or just a small fix-up, they have the products, the prices, and the expertise you need to get the job done right. Visit Rona.ca and tackle every project with Rona. Doing it right. 1711 Springfield Road. Proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun.
Kelowna! August is Muscle Tech Madness Month at Popeyes.
Popeyes.
All your favorites on sale like Hydroxycut, one of Canada's best-selling supplements, now in an exclusive size to Popeyes.
Popeyes.
Also newly available are Muscle Tech Muscletech's amazing BCAA formulas in peach mango and white grape. Come get a sample today at Popeyes on Springfield Road, the official supplements provider to your Kelowna Rockets, Sun Football, and Kelowna Falcons. August is Muscletech Madness Month at Popeyes.
Do you think the Okanagan Sun will win their next game?
With a home stadium named after a fruit? I doubt it.
The Apple Bowl? That's never stopped them before. They're 14-time BC champions.
Must be their lucky charm.
At Simply Computing, Apple's their specialty too. So why not visit them for all your Apple hardware? Shop downtown at 1546 Pandosy or online at simply.ca. Simply Computing, proudly supporting the Okanagan Sun.
Traditional retractable screens. Traditionally unpredictable.
Honey, we need more mustard.
Traditionally annoying. Presenting easy retractable screens from Nagy Brothers. Innovative accordion screen, custom sized to fit any door or window. Best of all, they don't snap open. Easy retractable screens. Easy to use, easy to love. For all your window and door needs, visit Nagy, BROSwindows.ca.
You've got a job to do. Backyard, front yard, renovations, or building the whole house. Big jobs or small, Win Rentals has the equipment for them all. From saws, drills, and ladders to the big guns like bobcats, excavators, compaction equipment, and genie lifts, Win Rentals has what you need to get the job done. So whether you're finishing a project in the backyard or leading a job site, rent the equipment that can help you get it done. Visit Win Rentals in Kelowna on McCurdy Road. Renting, it's the smart way to get things done.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna, site of Okanagan Sun Valley Huskers Week 4 BCFC action set to kick off in about 11 minutes' time. Going through our pregame interviews with each head coach. Before the break, you heard from Bob Reist, head coach of the Valley Huskers. Now it's time for the head coach of the Okanagan Sun. That's Ben McCauley chatting pregame today.
Going into tonight, what's the key message for your team in this game that, if you were just looking at it on paper, might look like a bit of a lopsided one? What have you been hammering to your guys over the course of the week?
Just the fact that we're looking at playing championship football. And when you play championship football, you just execute your assignment. It doesn't really matter who you're playing against. You don't get caught up in what the other team's doing. You just do your job to the best of your ability. And you don't, change the level of play based on your competition. So, if we're constantly evaluating ourselves against ourselves, then we'll be able to kind of stay focused and on task. The score will be what it'll be. We're not going out to try and score, run up the score on anyone. We just want to execute every play. So, that'll be the goal for tonight.
As far as offense goes, looking at the statistics this year, kind of a funny one has been the fact that you guys have actually been outscored in the first quarter. How do you get off to a better start here tonight?
Well, it's just about, being able to move the ball early in the game and not blowing mental assignments early. We give them a hand up, give them a head start by not being sound. And sometimes, we're playing with young guys at different positions, and sometimes the nerves of the game are too much, and they're overthinking things or they're not thinking enough. So it's just about, being confident, trying a few different things early in the game, pre-game to get the guys mentally ready. But, ultimately, guys are going to make plays on us. We're playing, a sport against some good competitors, and they're going to make plays too. And the fact that we can, bounce back from that tells me a lot about the character of the team. So, if we can make some of those mistakes without giving up points, then we're going to be in better shape. But, these guys have been tested all week in practice, so we expect to be off on a little bit better start this week.
And injuries have been obviously a factor for this group this year. Want to talk a little bit about that, starting with the quarterback position. Is Keith feeling ready to go this week, or are we going to see Nick out there again today?
Keith is, he's basically good to go. We probably won't give him much action, if any, today, just to be sure. We don't want to have any setbacks at this point. We need to be peaking, playing our best football in the next month or so as we lead up to, the latter hard part of the season heading toward playoffs. So, we don't want to leave anything to chance. Keith is 100% now, but hasn't had a whole lot of practice reps. So Nick's going to get the start tonight, and Keith's there if we need him, but I expect that Nick will be able to play the entire game, and hopefully we're able to get Matthew Mahler some reps as well.
The other thing about this week is the offensive line's looking a little bit banged up. There's some regulars out there. Are there going to be guys who are going to get some minutes that haven't to this point in the season, just with that situation?
Probably. That's not our goal. If we're able to be in that position come the second half or later in the game, because we're executing well, then that'd be the goal. But we respect that some injuries are stuff we can play through, and others we can't. The big thing is you can't get game experience without playing, having game experience. So that's an investment in our future. So if we get a chance to do that, we're going to take advantage of it. Guys will be able to lean on that experience when we need them to rely on in bigger games down the road. So if we're able to do that, we will.
Defensive side, the message has been pretty consistent to this point that while you guys have played well defensively, defense not where they want to be, obviously, in terms of where they would like to be when the season's done. What steps do you see them taking today, or what steps do you hope to see them take today?
Well, again, it's just eliminating mental mistakes, good tackling. At this point of the year, we pull off on contact a little bit in practice in order to not beat ourselves up too much. So they need to be able to kind of flip the switch a bit in the game and turn on the physicality. We know they can do it. It's just a matter of are they able to do it, right away, right off the bat. So, we're going to look to just really hammer home the consistency of fundamentals for them. Make good tackles, not try and do everything, win the game in a play, just win that play. So, it's going to be pretty much the same thing every week. Tackle well, trust your teammates, and take advantage of scoring opportunities if we get them on defense.
Coach, thanks for this. Good luck here tonight.
Thanks, Evan.
That is the head coach of the Okanagan Sun, Ben McCauley, chatting pregame here tonight, talking about his team and kind of the coach's mindset of how they're going to manage this game going up against the Huskers here at the Apple Bowl. About 5 minutes from kickoff here, awaiting the arrival of the Sun on the field. We'll take a quick break, come back, set the scene ahead of kickoff between the Sun and the Huskers right here on AM 1150.
When you have Big Steel Box, moving and storage are almost too easy. From kickoff to the final play, they're on your team. They'll drop the Big Steel Box off at your place, then you pack it at your pace, and when you're ready, give Big Steel Box a call to come pick up the box and move it or store it. Simple and secure. Big Steel Box is a better way to move and store your stuff. Check them out at BigSteelBox.com. Proud supporter of the Okanagan Sun.
Looking for a new beer? Been around the city trying to find a breathtaking blonde that is easy on the eyes, cool, and refreshing? Look no further. We got a cool local in your neighborhood. Introducing the newly repackaged Caribou Blonde. If this beauty sounds like music to your ears, it certainly could be. Caribou Blonde now comes with earbuds at participating retailers. Caribou Blonde. Sounds good. Must be legal drinking age. No purchase necessary.
Orchard Plaza, the perfect fit for you. Stores and services, all you need to suit your Okanagan lifestyle. When you're busy and on the go, we make your time worthwhile. So much more than just a mall. Orchard Plaza has it all. Orchard Plaza, the perfect fit for you. Orchard Plaza, Orchard Plaza, the perfect fit for you.
I guess having an award-winning renovation is pretty neat. It certainly does make you feel proud that, it's in your home and whatnot.
Shane on his Tommy Award-winning reno by Gord Turner Renovations.
We've always looked at our house as one step towards, our next step. And now this is a home that they've created. And to tell you the truth, our kids will now probably only know one place for their whole childhood because it has become a home.
Gord Turner Renovations. They do renovations differently. Visit GordTurner.com.
You can rely on the Kelowna Mr. Lube team to ensure your vehicle is ready for those long road trips or just in-town driving with fluid and filter changes and so much more. Get fast, convenient oil changes, no appointment necessary, and enjoy full tire service with the same no appointment status. Plus, they're open late till 8. Take good care with Mr. Lube Kelowna, across from Superstore behind Skogie's, and coming this fall at 948 McCurdy Road, proud supporter of your Okanagan Sun.
Come celebrate the diversity of our community with music. The West Kelowna World Music Festival is Saturday, August 26th, 4 to 9 p.m. at the Annette Beaudreau Amphitheater in Memorial Park. Enjoy the Interior Savings Kids Zone and interactive music and cultural activities for families, including drumming, dancing, and stick games. That's the West Kelowna World Music Festival, Saturday, August 26th. For lineup, food vendors, and activity details, visit am1150.ca.
From our team to yours, this is Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. We've got an anthem coming up here, so we'll take another quick break. Just coming back. Sorry to do it, but we will take another quick break here. Anthem and then kickoff coming up next from Kelowna.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
Roneg Contracting believes in giving back to our community. For the past 8 years, they've been a proud corporate sponsor of the Okanagan Sun. Roneg Contracting is also a proud supporter of the Okanagan Charity Classic Golf Tournament. Proceeds from the 2017 Okanagan Charity Classic will be donated towards assisting underprivileged children to play in organized sports. Other proceeds will also go towards the Canucks Autism Network for Kids. Roneg Contracting, a proud supporter of the Okanagan Sun.
Are you and the kids coming to our house for Alyssa's 6th birthday?
I thought a tree fell into your living room after that storm.
It did, but we called Total Restoration. They got the place back to the way it was just in time.
Then I guess we'll be there. So, what do you want for your birthday, Alyssa?
A tree house.
Hi, I'm Ken from Total Restoration. When the worst happens, we've got your back. Totally restoring your home to the way it was before
we spruced up the house.
Total Restoration. TotalRestoration.ca.
You might just be a bike person. You just don't have a bike. That's a bit of a hiccup. Let's give you every reason to roll out of here on a new bike. All in-stock 2017 Norco, Kona, Cannondale, and Rocky Mountain full suspension bikes are on sale, 15 to 20% off. 2016 models cannot get any lower in price. Nope, they really can't. Not kidding. Need something to wear on the bike? Buy 2 items, get a third for free. Kelowna Cycle in the Hub. Get a bike, then love your bike.
Grab your leather jacket and slip on your Doc Martens for the 2017 United Way Campaign Kickoff Breakfast. September 7th. In rockstar fashion, come celebrate with local community VIPs and kick off the workplace campaign season. Last year's campaign broke records for employee participation, supporting thousands of people in your community. The 2017 United Way Campaign Kickoff Breakfast. September 7th at the Coast Capri Hotel. For tickets, times, and details, visit am1150.ca.
Exclusive insider access to the people you want to know. Dan Patrick brings you A-list guests from around the world of sports and entertainment. Listen to Dan Patrick weekdays 10 to noon on AM 1150. News, talk, sports. You're listening to Kelowna's information station, CKFR, a division of Bell Media. We are AM 1150. News, talk, and sports. This is Okanagan Sun Football. Hear it, live it on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Captains just finishing handshakes and coin flips at midfield as we prepare for kickoff between the Okanagan Sun and the Valley Huskers. Carson Park, when you put your coaching hat on, not a big fan you are, I know, of what the Huskers just did, which was defer that kick to the second half.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I don't understand really what the strategy is. You should just, well, I understand what the strategy is. I just don't know when it's ever happened. I'm not even entirely sure why it's an option. Just take the kick.
Well, that's not happening here. So it's going to be the Sun who will get the football first. And they'll be moving from our left to our right here in the first quarter. As always, the Huskers in their road whites with the green helmets and numbers are going to be moving from our right to our left. Starting quarterbacks for this evening's game, as you heard, first we'll talk about the Sun from head coach McCauley, it's going to be back to Nick Wenman this week. This is his third start in a row since coming in relief of Keith Zyla in week number 2. What things do you think he has to build on with the idea of getting more points on the board early? It's something that the offensive guys as well as the coaches have talked about.
Just connecting early on those early pass plays where we've seen a couple plays where it's gone off Sun fingertips and been just out of reach, and you're never quite sure if that's the receiver not giving it 100% or if that's the quarterback not quite connecting, but you have to start the game with that polish. It shouldn't take you to the second or third quarter to find it.
Well, we're here ready to rock as the ball is all set up out there for the kickoff from Danny Harris. This game underway. Javen Keishel with the return here for the Sun gets up through midfield. He found a hole, gets all the way up past the 45-yard line. Great return for the Sun rookie returner, and good field position here coming up for Okanagan.
Yeah, a bit of a line drive on that kickoff. You like to get a little more height on that, keep the returner's eyes away from your return, from your cover squad, so he can't find that gap in your armor. Plus, it gives you more time to rally down there and close all those holes.
So it's going to be first down and 10 here for the Sun on the 46-yard line in Okanagan territory. First a pass play on a shotgun. That one complete to Kyler Mosley, but doesn't look like the Sun receiver got back to the line of scrimmage there. Just a quick throw off the pass, or off the snap there, and it's going to be second down here and 12 yards to go for the Sun.
Yeah, that's been a favorite play of the Sun, that quick bubble screen, and it looks like Chilliwack was expecting it.
So Wenman second down here, one back behind him. He'll go over the middle. That one complete to Anderson. He's going to get up over and across the opposition 50-yard line. That's a first down for the Sun.
Really like seeing that back-to-back completions, just like we were talking about, wanting to get those early. And that play especially is a good one. Just real quick snap and release. No chance for the linebacker to make the read there.
So the Sun quickly into Husker territory here. First and 10 on the opposition 46. Once again, Wenman looks to the sideline. That one sails through the hands of Tyson Mastrodemos.
Looked like he was just trying to put a little too much touch on that instead of just trying to get some heat there to his receiver, so the receiver has more time to make a move. A little too much touch over his head.
Yeah, an interesting thing for a quarterback, right? Where in those most simple plays, when you've got the receiver just waiting for it, you kind of try and guide the ball over there when you just want to sit back and let your natural talent work over. There's a pass up the middle. Once again, it's caught by the Sun. Another first down here in across the 30. That looked like Big Jesse Falconer up the middle with his first catch of the ball game.
Yeah, another quick just catch and throw. I'd like to see those plays by the Sun. Those are very difficult plays to cover because you sort of expect your linebacker to be making that play, but your linebacker is still making his read run and doesn't have the time to move his feet over there.
Yeah, the Sun have been all passing plays so far. As Wenman out of the shotgun here, there's a handoff. First one of the game up to Curry. He will gain about 5 yards by the looks of it there. Now inside the Husker 25.
Just going back to that incomplete from a minute ago, you definitely run into those problems where it's almost the easier it is, the harder it is.
Yeah.
You have it on both ends of the ball. For a quarterback, you have a guy wide open and you miss him. Or for a receiver, you have too much time and you just start thinking about the run after the catch and it'll hit you right in the chest.
So second down, 5 yards to go. Wenman to pass. This one is complete to Anderson. He tries to cut back up the middle, gets tackled right away. And it's going to be a third down situation here for the Sun. And the field goal unit heading out onto the field.
Yeah, that was a good read and cover by the corner out there. That's Desmond Jensen. I think he was one of the captains coming out, so I expect big plays from him during the game.
Yeah, certainly he's been a big part of this defense that their head coach, Bob Reese, talked warmly about in the pregame. He is picked up a couple of interceptions already, made 15 tackles so far this season. So this kick from the 29-yard line, Wagner puts it up, and this one is wide left. So it will go through the back of the end zone for a single. Bit of a surprise there, as Wagner, who had only missed one field goal this season through the first 3 games, misses left on that one.
Yeah, he was practicing before the game, too, from probably an extra 10 yards further than that and stroking them through pretty consistently. So that is a bit disappointing for the Sun, but big for the Huskers defense, especially keeping 1 point on the board when it could have easily gone to 7.
Yeah, big time, is the only field goal that was missed by Wagner earlier this year, I believe, was For Nate Anderson. Who it looked like man coverage up there at the line, and once Anderson got past his man, he was all home free.
Yeah, that's one of the risks with man coverage is if your man catches the ball and you don't make the tackle, he's got a lot of field to run through. There's a flag on the play. I'm not sure if it was a Sun player or a Husker player, but I believe somebody said something on the way by one another after that touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like it was after the score. Referee's going to announce here.
Number 83, 10 yards will be applied on the kickoff. Touchdown's good.
So Nate Anderson, who gets the touchdown, also whistled for an objectionable conduct penalty. Like you say, likely something that was said afterwards. Will be applied on the kickoff, and so Isaac Wegner out to kick the convert here. Flag right off of that kick as well, which went straight through the uprights.
I'm going to guess either early movement or running through the long snapper. Two guesses for
As this extra point and subsequent kickoff seeming to be complicated for the Sun, trying to put an exclamation point on their first score. Looks like the referee is heading over to the Sun sideline, so it looks like this penalty was against the Huskers and will likely be declined at this point, is my guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I think they're saying that they seem to be identifying the kicker somehow, but I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the referee just pointed to Wegner as he jogged back to the bench.
And just from McCauley's body language, I don't think he was happy. It looked like it was some sort of an equipment infraction.
Here it is.
There's some issue with equipment that maybe cleats aren't the right color or something silly like that.
I wonder if it's
a penalty occasionally.
Is it a sock issue where?
Yeah, if your socks get rolled down, they do flag you for that. That is a thing.
I wonder if it's that for Wegner. So anyway, after all that, no foul on the play, so the convert is good. Now 8-0, the Sun have extended their lead. Wegner will kick off here from the 35. That after the objectionable conduct penalty to Nate Anderson off the touchdown forces this kick to come from 10 yards back. Kick is up, waiting for it. Is Marius Engel on the return here. Hits the 30, keeps going to the 35. Then he runs into multiple Sun tacklers and will get brought down in his own end of the field. 4:45 left to go here in the opening quarter. Sun with an 8-0 lead. Nate Anderson with a touchdown, his second on the season. A missed field goal that went out the back of the end zone from Isaac Wegner earlier put the single on the board. By the way, the first rouge that the Sun have scored so far this season.
Sort of too bad for Chilliwack that last drive. This game easily could have been 7-1 for them.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll see a bounce back here. A bit of a reverse this time, and getting over to the far side before he's brought down before the line of scrimmage. That was DeAndre O'Connor, the receiver who has a catch tonight, but was rushing the ball that time. Kind of that end around, cutting back in behind his quarterback. Falconer hands off, but that's going to bring up second and long here for the Huskers.
Yeah, Connor Richard was all over that. It's sort of too bad when you have a play that's set up that well, and it even looked like he had a good angle on him, but he just run into a linebacker who was just too good to let that happen to him.
Sounds like an offside penalty was declined, so second and long remains here for the Huskers from their own 35. Falconer out of the shotgun once again. This one up the middle, diving catch, but going to the ground to pick that one up was Denoye, and it'll only be a gain of a couple, so the punt unit going to come on the field here for the Huskers, and a possession that just didn't work out for them that time compared to the first one where they connected on some deep balls. That one, the Sun not giving up much.
Yeah, that's going to be real disappointing for them after this game, especially these last two drives where that was a tough completion there, but having to make the diving catch, you don't get any yards after the catch. And after that last drive of leaving points on the board, that 2-and-out is going to be painful for their defense.
So the punt is off from Harris. Anderson, the returner, there will be a no yards flag there as he's brought down across the Husker 50. Not a very far punt. By the time he caught it, he was almost at midfield.
Yeah, a little short there. He caught it almost at full sprint, which gave him some great return yards. Thinking of a lot of choice in where he was making his return, but it worked out for him.
So first down and 10 from the Valley 48 here. I thought the Huskers might get whistled for the no yards penalty, but they managed to avoid it there nicely on that play. So it's first down and 10 to Wenman. Bit of a miscommunication there as he thought Anderson was going to take off up the sideline. Anderson paused and thought the ball wasn't coming to him, so it's thrown in front of him incomplete. Second down and 10.
Yeah, they've struggled to hit that pass today. Just a quick wide receiver hook. Earlier throwing it a little high from Astrodemos, and they're throwing it, putting it on a rope, but just putting it out of bounds.
Second down and 10 here for the Sun. One man in the backfield. He's going to get the pass. That's Curry, who dodges the tackle, stays on his feet up to the 49-yard line. That's about where the line of scrimmage is. And so Kelton Curry getting a reception tonight, but did a good job to get back to the line or close to it anyway on that one.
Yeah, Curry's got some serious step going on today. It looks like he wants to make a highlight or two.
Curry, of course, coming off his 2-touchdown performance against the Langley Rams on the road last weekend. Both of those rushing touchdowns, and really we haven't seen the Sun throw to their backs too often, but that a play there where they did. Wagner's back to punt from his own 50. This one will bounce in front of the returner, Engel, and he tries to cut it middle, then goes back to the sideline. Nowhere to go for Marius Engel on the return.
Yeah, the Cholak had a man running off the field late there, and I'm a little surprised the Sun long snapper didn't try to snap it a little quicker and get them that 3-5 yards for having somebody on the field that wasn't supposed to be.
It'll work out for Okanagan anyway as they set the Huskers back in deep in their own territory from the Valley 19-yard line is where they'll be. Bob Reese, that was something he brought up pregame too, just the fact that poor field position seems to have sunk them a lot, and here they're starting once again deep in their own territory. This is a handoff up the middle here to Perrin. He's got nowhere to go. Forced back close to that line of scrimmage, and it'll be second down and 10 here. Huskers try to establish the run the last couple of possessions, but the Sun are doing a good job of sniffing that out pretty quick.
Yeah, I suspect this is purely an experience issue where there's a lot of young guys on that O-line going against the Sun veteran D-line. And when you watch the Sun run, it's the running back hitting the contact point 3 yards downfield, whereas for the Huskers, it's at the line of scrimmage.
So second and long here for Falconer and the Huskers offense. Fakes the pass, then hands off, spinning away from a couple tackles. There is Vickland. His first carry of the game will result in being brought down again close to that line of scrimmage, but it could have been a loss if not for a couple spin moves by the first year back there.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more exciting 2-yard runs you're going to see. The Sun have really struggled against that draw play too this season. I don't know if it's they're getting too excited to get after that quarterback and try to get a sack in there, or what exactly it is, but teams are starting to pick up on it.
Yeah, it's a good point. We've seen it a few times here as back to punt deep in their own territory is Harris, and he angles it towards the sideline. That one caught by Liam Crane. Doesn't have much place to go, but he is able to take it up to the Husker 40. And the Sun will be in good field position once again here as we tick down to 17 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was a much better kick for the Huskers kicker there.
And that's Danny Harris, DB, who also does the kicking duties for this team.
A little bit of a high snap that he managed to pull down and get a good kick off before there was much traffic in front of him.
Wenman, starting quarterback for the Sun here. Going to fake the run, then pitch it to the outside. This to Rodriguez. Stiff arms one man, still on his feet. Flag is down. Now, in the backfield, the Sun receiver lost their helmet. Nate Anderson picked up his helmet, and the official...
a bit of a tussle with Josh Robinson over there, so I expect that's what the penalty is going to be. Taking off your opponent's helmet.
Yeah, it was the official right behind them who threw his flag, but not to mention a nice run there from Anderson. Who picked up first down yards, but would like to see...
We had an unnecessary roughness, number 31. We will be ending the quarter and passing it on to start the second.
So an unnecessary roughness penalty is called on the Huskers there, and that will take us down to the end of the first quarter. So we'll take a quick break here, come straight back to the Apple Bowl. It's the Sun 8, the Huskers no score right here on BCFC TV and AM 1150.
The summer is here, you can feel the heat. Don't want to get burnt? Head on down to Auction World for the coolest deals in town. Whether you need a car, truck, 4x4 SUV and like to save money, Auction World has a vehicle for you. If your budget is $200,000 or $40,000. With over 300 vehicles to choose from and a large selection of motorbikes, boats, trailers, and RVs, Auction World is your one-stop summer shop. Stay cool knowing you save thousands on your vehicle purchase this Saturday.
Auction World saves you money. KelownaAuctionWorld.com. You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook, Carson Park with you for second quarter action that is now underway with the snap to Nick Wemman. He's being chased, throws it down low to Rodriguez, who's got a lane into the end zone. Touchdown for the Sun on the opening play of the second quarter.
That was a well-run, just little screen there down to Rodriguez. And I think the Huskers might have even been blitzing on that play, because once the ball was caught, there really wasn't a whole lot of defenders for him to deal with.
Yeah, it sure looked like a blitz as a couple of linemen came straight in on Wenman, but like you say, that little screen off the back foot to Robbie Rodriguez, another back with a reception here tonight. And he had no defenders really between him and the end zone, running in those 12 yards or so that he had to. So the extra point attempt from Wagner here. That kick is good. He gets run into at the end of that play, but looks like nothing is going to come of that. That'll extend the Sun lead to 15-0 here. Robbie Rodriguez, his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, that little incidental contact there at the end. As a kicker, you don't want to leave your leg up too long because somebody will run into it and hurt you. But if pulling your leg down that quickly, as soon as your leg's down, you're no longer the kicker, so you're not a protected player. So a lot of kickers will learn that just hold that leg up there a little longer, and as soon as you're touched, feel free to go down. You're as much an actor as soccer players out there.
Yeah, that fine line, right, between wanting to keep your own self-injury free, but also wouldn't mind drawing that penalty if you can. And yeah, some contact there with Wagner at the end of that play, but
yeah, definitely a much bigger play when it's a punt than it is an extra point, but
certainly. So he's set up to boot this one away from the 45-yard line. This is a shorter one. Is going to be dropped by the Husker, recovered by the Sun. And Okanagan, Aldrich Barrios, DB with that recovery on that play. Didn't see exactly which Husker it was who dropped it, but we've seen this multiple times with the Sun. They'll kick it shorter off the kickoff to target guys who aren't used to getting the football to surprise them.
Yeah, especially those higher proper end-over-end kicks are much harder to catch if you're just not comfortable or not used to it. You don't have practice in. And if you're not a returner, you probably haven't gotten the practice in.
So Nick Wenman goes to work here, first down and 10 on the Valley 33. That pass complete to Anderson in the slot. He gets up to inside the 20-yard line. That'll be close to a first down, and they're going to give it to the Sun here.
Yeah, watching how this game slowly unfolds, it is really frustrating for the Huskers here, because you can almost feel the momentum starting to build.
Sure.
And just 3 drives ago, it easily could have been 7-1 for the Huskers, and here we are 15-0 for the Sun. And Sun with the ball again in great field position. It's got to be a frustrating thing.
Sun stacking 4 receivers on the right side here. It's Wenman rolling to his right out of the shotgun. That one over the head of Master Demos. And so that incomplete will bring up second down. But you're right. I mean, always tough to deal in hypotheticals, but if Valley puts up that touchdown to go up 7-1, this game just has a different feel, maybe a little bit more panic in the Sun early on, who wouldn't have been expecting to be down.
Yeah, between that and like that surprise kick and the turnover there.
Yeah.
The turnover game for the Sun this season has been just phenomenal.
Wenman passing, second down. That one is complete up the middle for a touchdown.
That was just a perfect strike to the right spot in the field. Had some linebackers blitzing from that area. So it was a nice open soft spot in the defense, and nothing you can really do about that.
Isaac Wagner, who I thought that was him, but I wanted to just double check the jersey to make sure. Wagner, the kicker, who also is an offensive guy who knows the receiver routes on this team, was really in the slot back position there, running up the middle of the field, and just an easy throw and catch to number 86.
Contrary to my soccer joke in the last kick, kickers are people too. At least when I was on the Sun, our kicker, I believe, may have even set a CJFL or just a Sun record for points in a season, because he was one of our more proficient receivers as well as being our kicker.
So Wagner, the receiving touchdown, nails the point after, and that'll increase the Sun lead to 22-0 here early in the second quarter. The Sun, of course, who scored a touchdown on that first play of the second, now have added another one just a minute and 16 seconds into the quarter, and you're right, that momentum that we talk about, can feel that sliding.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I believe the quarter ended 8-0,
yep.
And it's 13:44, and it's 22-0 already. And yeah, it just gets real ugly real quick. It'd be nice to see Chilliwack make a big play here and at least get some of the momentum back before it's out of hand.
Looks like a penalty to the Huskers was... Here we go.
Face mask, number 15 yards are added on the kickoff.
So a face mask call against Valley, which means that Isaac Wagner's actually going to be taking this kickoff from the Valley Huskers 50-yard line.
This is where it's real demoralizing, because, yeah, you can't catch a break. It could have been a totally different end to that first quarter, and suddenly, like, they're back in a negative field position, and the ball is not even landed yet.
It's that snowball effect as this one kicks to the sideline. It does fall out of bounds. A couple of Huskers went up to try and make a play on that football.
The Sun are saying they're the last ones who touched it, which I believe is all they have to do. If this is another Sun turnover, like, that's really just the difference of the season for the Sun, is they've made every positive big play, and I can't even think of any particularly big plays against them that wound up costing them anything.
Yeah, exactly. And
even the big plays I can think of that have come against them typically wound up ending those drives in punts. Like the great catch a couple weeks ago wound up punting 2 or 3 plays later. And
right.
That's really the only one that springs to mind.
Illegal kickoff. Still hasn't chosen to take the ball where it went out of bounds at 30. First down.
So illegal kickoff, officials saying it went straight out of bounds there. So the Huskers will be on their own 30-yard line here. Noah Falconer, who had that good first possession that we saw him drive deep into Sun territory in the first quarter, just hasn't had that success since then. He's back to pass here. That one through the hands of Denoyer.
You got to come up with those catches. Him not catching that easily could have turned into another Sun turnover, which is the most dangerous part of those dropped passes.
Yeah, there were a couple members of the Sun secondary kind of licking their chops there, especially on those plays where the receiver gets a piece of the ball and tips it into the air, which almost happened on that one. There were a couple players that could have picked that one off easily. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more defensive backs like more than tip balls. Tip ball drill is the best part of football for those guys. Second down and 10 here on the Huskers 30, needing that first down. Back to pass is Falconer. This one is picked off there by the Sun, bringing it down inside the 35-yard line. Can't quite get a number on that jersey. I'm thinking 16, 18? I think it was 18. Aldrich Barrios, who was the one who recovered that kick earlier. He's having quite a game out there. The rookie DB who picked off a pass that it just looks like the Huskers were trying to force the issue there and not a ball that was just put in a good spot. I think he was just trying to rush himself a little too much, and when you rush yourself, you don't hit the spot you need to. Wenman still behind center for the Sun. He goes into the corner, connects with Liam Crane, and he'll waltz into the end zone. Touchdown, Sun. Yeah, had a play there where pump and go. Yeah, Crane is in man coverage once again, gets a step on his defender, and just kind of an easy throw and catch there between Wenman and his veteran receiver. Yeah, just difficult throw and difficult catch, but if you can get that step behind the DB, it makes life a lot easier for you on those man coverage. So Liam Crane picks up his second touchdown. Had one against Kamloops a couple weeks ago here at the Apple Bowl. Connects with Wenman once again here. Wagner rather than Falconer with the kick it through. That is good for the convert, and it takes the score now to 29-0 in favor of the Sun. We'll take a quick break, come right back to the Apple Bowl. You're listening on BCFC TV and AM 1150.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
It starts here. This is Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook, Carson Park alongside you for this one in a game that was only 8-0 for the Sun. At the end of the first quarter, they've now added 3 touchdowns in the first 2 minutes, 1 second of the second quarter here. Return coming up for Engel. Bounces off a tackle, cuts back across the 25-yard line where he's brought down. And so first and 10 here coming up for the Huskers from their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, the offense really needs to get a couple first downs here to give the defense a bit of a breath. So hopefully they can make another big play or two before this game's over and at least get some points on the board.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, to get confidence back, sure, but just to give the D a bit of a break, like you say, who've been out there for what really feels like the majority of the last 10 minutes here. A few 2-and-outs for this offense for the Huskers, who are back first and 10 on their own 25. Falconer's going to pass this one again. That one tipped into the air, and it is brought down. It looked like a completion there from Nathan Denoyer.
Not quite Super Bowl mess of a catch, but that definitely tipped a good 2 or 3 times, and Sun defenders missed the opportunity to make a pick there.
Yeah, we were just talking about those tipped balls and how much DBs like that coming from behind them, running into them. Ty Kitzman tried to make a play on that one. It was just tipped past his arm. And so, nonetheless, it works out for the Huskers. Nathan Denoyer, a reception and a first down. 1st and 10 from the 40. Another pass here. That one missing Denoyer. Looked like it went just too far for him, the pass from Noah Falconer. So 2nd down and 10 here.
Let's go back to that last first down catch for a second. That's almost a bit of a circus catch just for them to get the first down. And that sort of feels like what they need to do just to move the ball right now. It's a struggle. It's got to be demoralizing out there.
Yeah, it's not easy going for this Huskers offense, that's for sure. As the Sun have really shut down their run game to this point. And so what happens now is what we've seen kind of the last couple of possessions, where the Huskers offense just looks a little bit one-dimensional. And they're back to pass once again. That one tipped off the line, almost a catch there from the running back, Keegan Vicklund, but big O lineman on the Sun got an arm up and blocked that throw.
Yeah, I like that play choice there. The completion wouldn't have gotten him the first down alone, but he was showing some good moves earlier in the game. I like getting him the ball in space, trying to do something on offense.
Yeah, Keegan Vicklund, the first-year running back out of Abbotsford, who's had 16 carries for 49 yards so far this season. And we saw earlier, like you say, a little bit of a tricky carry from him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him get anything for yards so far, but he moves real well. He just doesn't have the space to get anything positive downfield.
So it'll force the Huskers back to punt here. That's Danny Harris standing on his own 25-yard line to await the ball. And now a time count violation on the Huskers here, so that'll...
They're missing a guy on their special teams unit.
Yeah, they were. And
timeout, rather than take the illegal substitution.
So a tough play for them to lose another 5 yards in field position here. But they finally got the right personnel out in the field. Harris with the punt, believe that is Liam Crane, who's getting set to return it. Catches it at his own 50. Busts through a couple of tackles. Gets up close to the Chilliwack 50 there, close to a 10-yard return from Liam Crane. 8 yards officially. And that'll bring up, once again, a 1st and 10 situation for the Sun, where they're starting on the valley side of the field. When you cut this field in half like the Sun have here, and they're always starting in opposition territory, it just makes things a whole lot easier.
It definitely does. It's hard to play defense when you're always backing into your own end zone. You feel like you've got a goalpost shadow at your back. Especially when you're stuck in wind and you haven't been off the field in so long.
So Wenman to pass. This one over the sideline. Low pass is caught at the shoelaces by Kyler Mosley. I believe that might even be his first reception of the night, first or second anyway, for Mosley. An 8-yard catch and run, so second down is coming up here. 2nd down and about a yard and a half by the looks of it. Ball at the 43-yard line of the Huskers. Sun with that 29-0 lead, looking to close in to add more points here before the half. Rush up the middle by Rodriguez. He bursts through the line, gets up the middle, and brought down close to the 30-yard line. A definite first down there. Nice rush by Robbie Rodriguez, who's already picked up a receiving touchdown so far tonight.
Yeah, this is where the run game really gets to pick up, when the defense starts to get tired. The D-line doesn't get the same drive and the same pop. And the O-line just seems to gain energy as you get more big plays.
Yeah, talked in the pregame, too, about a little bit of a banged-up Sun O-line with some of the regulars missing. They've looked just fine tonight. Here's Wenman pitching to Rodriguez on the outside. He'll collect a first down, cut back in. then get taken down out the sideline that close to the 15-yard line. Nice rush there by Robbie Rodriguez, who I think a couple of defenders thought he might just carry on going out the sideline, but he did a nice cutback to gain a couple more yards at the end of that run.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like there's a Husker down here.
Yeah, down over the far sideline by the sticks there. Can't tell exactly who that is, but Valley Husker trainer Katie Bergen heading out in the field. So we'll take a quick break here from the Apple Bowl. The score, the Okanagan Sun 29, the Valley Huskers no score. You're listening on AM 1150 and BCFC TV.
As Kelowna's premier commercial real estate brokerage, Colliers International is focused on creating value for their clients. Let Colliers help you with complete end-to-end service, from consulting and appraisal to brokerage and project management. Colliers International will help you buy, sell, lease, and manage your commercial and investment property. Colliers International, commercial real estate solutions to accelerate your success. Proud sponsor of the Okanagan Sun. Visit collierscanada.com.
We'd like to welcome you and your friends and family to share our table at Mission Hill.
Reserve your seat at the long table. A 3-course dinner elegantly paired with Mission Hill's family estate wines. Perched above the Pinot Noir and Chardonnay vineyards, the outdoor loggia is the perfect vantage point to witness the arrival of autumn. It's the long table dinner at Mission Hill Family Estate, September 2nd. Reserve your seat at missionhillwinery.com.
Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl. It's the Okanagan Sun leading the visiting Valley Huskers by a score of 29-0. 9:19 left to play here in second quarter action. We just had an injury on the field. That's to linebacker Mason Palak of the Huskers, who's making his way off the field right now. So when he does get off there, the Sun deep once again in Husker territory, going to be 1st and 10 on the Chilliwack 16-yard line. As it looks like we're ready to whistle this play in now. Nick Wenman started this game, his 3rd start in a row, in place of the injured Keith Zyla, and he throws this one into a bit of a scrum of players there. It's Nate Anderson lining up as the slot back who makes the catch. And that's going to bring up 2nd and short here. Looks like a 2nd and 3 situation, as the ball spotted now inside the 10-yard line of the Huskers.
Yeah, the Sun first team offense is going to be really happy with this first half performance, I think. A lot of completions, very few incompletes.
Wenman, the handoff here, cutting inside for the score. That's Tyler Mosley, who we've seen rush the ball a few times this season. His 3rd rushing touchdown, 5th one overall of the year.
Even that run there, I don't think that is a run that makes it to the end zone at the start of this game, but that defense is just getting tired, and the guys he's running by and shedding tackles from, I think they're just starting to run out of gas.
Yeah, no kidding. It's certainly what it feels like down on the field right now is this extra point from Isaac Wegner is up, and it is through, so 36-0 now the score. Interesting, because earlier this week I had a chance to catch up with Keith Zyla, quarterback, who's trying to get back in action here for the Sun. I'll play that interview coming up at halftime here, but the kind of prediction that he had, the hope that he had, was that the Sun would get off to a hot start, which is something that they haven't been able to do in their games so far this season. He was hoping for 30 points on the board by halftime, and he's got his wish here tonight.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to meet his necessary criteria, what with the only 8 points in the first quarter, especially missing a field goal. So they left 6 points on the board on that first drive. But yeah, as soon as the second quarter started out there, that was quite the bang there. We're still at the start of the second quarter. Like, it's still 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. And it's been all Sun every play.
Yeah, no kidding. Hard to believe that this was just an 8-0 game after the end of the first quarter, but that's where we are now. So the kickoff from Wagner going to be taken at the 20-yard line. It's kicker Harris on this return. He's going to cut up the middle just across the 30, and that's where the Huskers will start out. Nice 18-yard return from Danny Harris.
Giving possession on their own first 31st.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what strategy they pull out this drive to try to get some positive yardage going against this Sun D. I still see a lot of the Sun starters out there on defense, so don't expect much difference.
Yeah, interesting to see. I was wondering with the first team offense as well, how much longer we're going to keep seeing them take the field. But you're right, there are definitely some Sun starters still lined up on defense here. Noah Falconer, they've got 3 backs lined up behind him, 2 of them in motion now. So it's Falconer out of the shotgun, back to pass here. He goes up the middle, that one tipped by Connor Richard. Tried to sort of lay one up there for one of his DBs, but nobody able to get underneath that ball. Nonetheless, tipped ball for Richard, 2nd down and 10 here for the Huskers.
Yeah, especially sort of expecting the starters to be coming out here by halftime. I'm a little disappointed Kitsman didn't try to lay out for that. He was in the region, and I think he could have dove and gotten a hand on it. He's had the 1 interception per game so far, and it looks like he's not going to get that this one.
Yeah, exactly. That 1 interception per game pace that Ty Kitsman has set. We mentioned that Danny Harris, who does the kicking but is also a DB on this Huskers team, also has picked up interceptions at that pace for the Huskers so far this season. Falconer, there's a screen pass, but even on that one, incomplete off the hands of Keegan Vickland.
Screen pass, that's a play I'm not sure I'd run on the Sun very often. It's a play that's almost designed to try to pick on linebackers who aren't quite paying attention in the pass game, where they see that pass drop, and so they leave the area and allow that running back to make the play. But the Sun linebackers are just, they're too good and too smart and too fast to sort of fall for that very often. I personally wouldn't try to rely on that against the Sun. I'd be trying to escape those linebackers, not try to take advantage of them.
Well, back to punt here is Harris. We'll try to figure out who the returner is here for the Sun. Harris angling this one toward the sideline. That was Nate Anderson back there, but he doesn't even pick up the football. Official marking it out of bounds at the Okanagan 49-yard line, and so that's where the Sun will start here.
That kick was very nearly blocked. Oh, and there's a man down for Chilliwack, and he looks quite down.
Yeah, just went down coming off towards the sideline. Can't see yet who a number is on that, but...
stomach, I think he got hit and got to the ribs or something.
Well, we'll take a quick break here, then come back to the Apple Bowl, where the Sun going on offense with a 36-0 lead. You're listening on AM 1150.
So you just finished washing the dishes. You're enjoying some me time. The sink won't drain. You're showering in a puddle. Your pipes need clearing. Get the guys that aren't afraid to get down and dirty. Mac Plumbing. The worst clogs are no match for the power of high-pressure jetting. No matter what the buildup, gross stuff, or invading roots, Mac Plumbing will clear your pipes. Mac Plumbing. They really know their on Twitter and at macplumbing.ca.
Come meet your local farmers and crafters at the Kelowna Farmers and Crafters Market. Shop unique local vendors offering fresh produce, meats, cheeses, baked goods, crafts, and ethnic foods. And with the Saturday Satellite Market downtown, there's more for you to explore. They make it, bake it, or grow it at the freshest all-local one-stop shop, the Kelowna Farmers and Crafters Market. From 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday at the corner of Dilworth and Springfield. And Saturdays downtown on Bernard. They'll see you at the market.
Under the helmet and between the 50s. This is your all-access pass to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna, where the Okanagan Sun taking on the Valley Huskers here tonight. Injured player still down on the field for Chilliwack. I believe that's number 3, Josh Robinson, the DB who was on that special teams kickoff unit there for the Huskers and looked to take a hit like Carson, you were saying, in the midsection. That's kind of how he went down, as he's being attended to from staff on both teams right now.
Yeah, it sort of looked to me like he thought he was winded or something and took a knee and just got down. Like, yeah, it looked like he didn't think it was that big a deal, and it's just been getting progressively worse. He's now doubled over on his side there with a staff around him.
Yeah, all the players now taking a knee here in this timeout, and gives us a chance to kind of take a breather in this one, too. Talk about the game that we've seen so far. And in the pregame interview with the coach, I mentioned one of the funny stats, if you will, about the team so far for the Sun this year is that they've actually been outscored in the first quarter by a mark of 7-10. And they weren't outscored in this first quarter. They put up 8 points. The Huskers, of course, have yet to score, but kind of still felt like a bit of a slow start that we've seen the Sun come out with this season.
They easily could have been outscored this first quarter,
yeah.
too. Like they were wanting that hot start, and it's definitely come alive in the first half of the second quarter, but that first quarter, it's hard to call that a hot start when you come out only up 8-0 and having barely escaped without being down 7-1.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it could have been points easily for the Huskers, who on that first possession drove up the field, had a couple big receptions. Nathan Denoyer with one over 30 yards of note there, and all of a sudden, even on third down, the Huskers have that opportunity to kind of run that trick punt play where they kick it short and try and recover the ball, and they almost did it. Boy, that could have been a completely different ball game at this point.
I'm not sure if I just don't recall it, but I cannot remember ever seeing that particular trick play, and that is a rare thing for a football fan of any more than a couple of years. Like, there's not a lot of trick plays that are available to you that you haven't seen. Well, and it looks like he's at least sitting up again, which is better.
Getting a hand from both sidelines as well as the crowd here at the Apple Bowl. That Josh Robinson, and you're right, it is a play that you just so rarely see, and kind of a neat one too, because it wasn't the punter who made the attempt.
No, it was the up back who I believe was either a lineman.
Yeah, I think it was Colby Dick, the offensive lineman, is now Robinson up to his feet and will walk off on the sideline. We'll take a look and hope to track his progress over the course of the night, but he making his way off slowly under the help of his trainer and offensive lineman Michael Langert. So it's first down and 10 here for the Sun. Ball on their own 49-yard line. Went with the handoff to Curry. He breaks through some tackles and now makes his way into the secondary. Finally tackled just outside the 40-yard line. But Kelton Curry, boy, coming off a big week last week that we've talked about, seems to be picking up right where he left off. He's had a touchdown already tonight and a couple big runs.
Definitely. I think he has the sense that he's not going to be in this game the whole night, and he really wants to get every yard he can while he can. So it seems like he's had an extra pep in his step going the whole night.
Sun first and 10 on the Huskers 42. Once again, going to be handed off by Wenman to Curry. Once again, yards to be had for him. That should be a first down, or pretty close to it, as he dodges up close to the 30-yard line. And this run game that the Sun have started to exploit the last couple of series it just looks like their linemen are just making it so easy, making those holes for their backs to fit through.
And that's just a product of the defense not getting off the field. You get just so tired having to make those quick read and react. You wear down.
Women of the shotgun. There's a third handoff to Curry, and again he's going to break through the line. This one moving up the middle. Finally gang tackled down at the 5-yard line by the Huskers, who just have no answer for number 38 on the Sun right now.
Yeah, that was also a disappointing play call for the defense. They had the two guys blitzing outside and running back just cut inside. That's a lot of vacant field to try to make up.
Yeah, it seems interesting, a play call, 4 guys blitzing like that.
That's just a goal of trying to get into the backfield and hoping you guess the right way. And there they guessed outside, and it came inside. So
it's going to be first and goal here for the Sun. Working from the 6-yard line, Wenman going to keep this one and work it through the middle of the pack. A couple yards he gets, and that'll bring up second down and goal here inside the 5.
Yeah, that was a good tackle there by number 92, Travis Diedrich, D-end. He's been getting picked on a little bit on those pitch passes, those just the-end read plays. I'm not sure what their responsibility is. At least when I was playing, typically the defensive end's responsibility was the running back, and the linebacker's job was the quarterback.
Right.
And he's tried to play both today, and it's been real tough on him.
So Wenman to pass here on second down through the middle, just past a diving Nate Anderson there. And so third down coming up here. Sun sending on the field goal unit to Isaac Wegner with a chance for redemption here. He missed a 29-yard field goal on his first kick of the night. That ended up in that single point for the Sun. This will be a shorter one here. Ball spotted on the 4, so Wegner lining up for an 11-yard field goal here. Here's a kick by Wegner. Diving attempt there by the defender to block it. That was Desmond Jeanson coming in from the far side, but no dice on that one as the field goal is up and it is good, and that will extend the Okanagan lead here, 39-0 with 4:26 left to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, the snowball is still just rolling down the hill.
And I mean, just a tough mental game to play on both sides if you're on the Huskers right now. You've talked about the physical side of the defense just being on the field all the time, but a tough mentally to kind of get motivation on the offensive side when the Sun are just putting up points every possession that they've had here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's real tough on offense where it's such a mental game of that confidence and everything feeling like it's working out right. And when the defense is bringing it to you like the Sun defense has been, nothing feels like it's working right, and your timing's all off, and your confidence is shot, and stuff that should work well doesn't work as well as it normally does. And when you've got a season like this and we have so many rookies that the Valley Huskers have to deal with, there's just not a lot of time and space for that sort of thing.
Yeah, no kidding. It's the rookies showing the Huskers this year for sure. And the first down play, by the way, a rush up the gut to gain 3 yards. So second down and 7 coming up here for the Huskers here. They're at their own 37-yard line. Falconer going to the far side. That could be a pass and a catch, and it is. Big number 80, Marius Engel, who gets brought down by 3 Sun defenders, cutting back in from the sideline. Engel, who's also been the kick returner for the Huskers there, did a nice job getting a step behind the Sun defender, and nice toss there by Noah Falconer.
And I think there was a flag on the play against the Huskers for false start, which that's just devastating when you finally make one of a big play downfield. Looks like the receiver's a little banged up too coming off the field.
So an offside call, and it's called on Engel, who the officials say got a jump on that one, and one of those calls where a big gain called back, but you can also argue if you're the Sun that gain might not have happened if he didn't jump offside there.
Yeah, at least it was him who jumped offside, another receiver on the far side of the field. Those sort of penalties are frustrating.
Yeah, no kidding, because it was a situation where the Huskers had stacked 4 receivers over to the far side. Engel was the isolated one. And now they're going to go back to this set formation, 2 backs in motion coming out of the backfield, cutting across the middle. That's where the pass goes complete. It's DeNoyer, who will get up close to the first down marker at the 45-yard line.
That's a 9-yard gain for the Huskers, number 7.
Bit of a screen there where DeNoyer lines up behind the quarterback, is in motion, then just cuts up about 5 yards or so, and this will be close to a first down.
DeNoyer was trying to plead his case for a better spot, and the official, I'm not sure, was having it.
Yeah, officials all congregating here near the line. There is 2:51 left to play here in the opening half. Sun with that 39-0 lead. I think it was a quick 3-minute warning that was just taken right now, but the Huskers offense being blown in here. 3rd down and short. They're going for it. 3rd down and a yard to go. It's Falconer who's getting right under center now. Looks like he's going to keep it, and does. Did he get far enough? Sun don't think so. Haven't seen any verdict from the official yet.
Oh, Sun first down.
And so Noah Falconer on the QB keep there on a 3rd down and a yard play, stuffed by the Okanagan Sun. Another big play for the defense there, putting the offense back in the field. Huge stop.
Yeah, just another play the Huskers just desperately needed that they didn't get, and that's going to be the moral of the story, and probably the moral of a lot of their season. It's going to be tough for them to keep the moral victories going, because they're not as far off as you'd think.
Yeah. 1st and 10 here for the Sun. Another run play up the middle. It was a play action feed. Nice sell there once again. 3-4 Huskers now trying to take their man to the ground. I believe that was first-year receiver Javen Cashel with the catch. His first reception on the night. He had a kick return earlier in the game. But a 13-yard gain makes it 1st and 10 here for the Sun. Nick Wenman still under center now. Will give the handoff that time, cutting to the outside now, back in. Still on his feet is Okunlola.
That was a good 20-yard run there.
Sure was. Joseph Okunlola, as the second stringers now starting to get some action for the Sun. His first carry of the night. Takes it down inside the 10-yard line for a 1st and goal here for the Sun. Still 2 minutes to go in this second quarter. Sun trying to put a few more points up on the scoreboard before we reach halftime here at the Apple Bowl. Wenman lining up with the shotgun. Okunlola, the back behind him. There's a fake handoff. Keep it, does Wenman.
Miscommunication there between him and the running back.
Yeah. As Wenman turned the opposite way that Okunlola was running behind him. And so for Wenman, he keeps that ball, tries to take it up the gut, gets a few yards anyway. Going to be 2nd and goal here. Ball spotted inside the 5-yard line of the Huskers. My formation is a run play and busting into the end zone for a touchdown, the Sun.
I think that was Carter Gordon, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I believe Carter Gordon with the carry on that one. Was just double checking. It looks like 24 from here. We're into this kind of funny twilight where the far side of the field makes it tough to read numbers, but that's who it is. Carter Gordon with the 5-yard touchdown, and will be kicking an extra point here. Clock down to 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the half. Isaac Wigner once again. Kick is up, and it is good. The lead 46-0 for the Sun as we approach halftime. Take another quick break. Come back to the Apple Bowl. Here it's the Sun and the Huskers on AM 1150.
Jags Furniture and Mattress in Kelowna is closing. It's a massive closeout sale. The lease has expired, and now everything must go. Up to 70% off the entire showroom. Huge wall-to-wall markdowns on everything in store during this can't-miss event. Everything is first come, first served, and time is short, so hurry in now. Jags Furniture and Mattress on Spall Road in Kelowna next to Princess Auto. Visit jagsfurniture.ca for details. You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Ample Bowl in Kelowna, where the Okanagan Sun at home to the Valley Huskers in a game that nobody thought would be close. And here, approaching halftime, it has lived up to its expectation. Okanagan with the 46-0 lead as Wagner with the kickoff from his own 45. That one dropped initially on the return there by Engel, picks it up, cuts in across the 30-yard line, gets brought down close to there.
The most impressive part of the score at the moment is that it was only 8-0 after the first quarter.
Absolutely.
46-0 is a ridiculous, video game type score to enter halftime with, but to do 38 of those points in one quarter is another thing altogether.
Well, I mean, as we mentioned coming into this game, the Huskers coming off their last two games have also been shutouts against them, but Langley put up 39 over the course of the entire game against them 2 weeks ago. And then last week, when they were taking on the VI Raiders, they put up 40 again over the entire game. So 46-0 just at the half here so far for the Sun. There's a handoff up the middle. Nice stutter step there from Vickland, and looked like he almost lost it on the tackle there. Going to gain a few yards, but it'll be second down upcoming here for the Huskers. But back to that point, losses of 39-0 and 40-0, and here we're approaching 50, and it's only halftime. So the Sun really taking things to another level here tonight against the Huskers.
Yeah, that'll happen once in a while. And again, this is just a case where I don't think the score is quite representative of the game. It's definitely a one-sided game, but everything that's needed to go right for the Sun has gone right, and everything that's needed to go wrong for the Huskers has gone wrong. They've easily left 14 points on the board.
Certainly is. Lining up far side wide receiver there is Marius Engel. He was the one who had a nice completion moments ago. Ball coming over to his side of the field again, just overthrown. That one by Falconer, looking for a big number, 80 there. And so that on the second down play brings up third down and long for the Huskers, who will send their punting team out to kick this one away. Clock down to 37 seconds to go here in the first half. Coming up in halftime, we'll try to get our hands, as always, on some first half stats, rather, to break down here. As well, an interview that I was able to do a little earlier this week with a normal starting quarterback of the Sun, Keith Zyla. Of course, he's been injured since week 1, so just wanted to check in on how things are going with him. He's close to returning as a flag down on this punt. Looks like an offside against the Sun. And the ball will just bounce around near the 50 and roll out of bounds just before it. So as I say, interview with Keith Silo, who talks about how the season that hasn't gone his way so far has been going, when he's going to expect to get back in action. Of course, he hadn't dressed in past games, but he dressed for the one here tonight on the sideline. You heard Coach in the pregame interview talk about how they're not expecting to use him out there. So an offside against the Sun D. That penalty declined. Rather than, I guess, re-kicking that ball, it's just going to be first down and 50. The first Sun possession in a while where they are starting in their own end of the field. Mind you, they're close to midfield at their own 48-yard line.
Yeah, running back entered late there. Wasn't sure if they were going to have too many men on the field.
Sun get it together here on a handoff up the middle. Difficult to see exactly who that was, but a gain of about 2 yards here.
I think it was Okanola.
Yeah, he was the back that came in there, and it is Okanola on the carry. So spotting it on the 49 here, gain of 1 second and 9. Nick Wenman Still quarterbacking for the Sun at this point. Would expect to see Mahler potentially in the second half. Here's a handoff up the middle. That one to Okanagan, who has lots of room to take it down out across the 45-yard line of the Huskers. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Chilliwack 42. Big 15-yard run by Joseph Okanagan there, who got stuffed out in the first one but had lots of room on that one. Last play of the half by the looks of things here. Wenman going to throw this to the outside to Liam Crane. He got past the defender to the outside. Flag is down. A collision between a couple of linemen by the looks of it. Taking a look, that was James Harney, offensive lineman on the Sun, who got all sorts of tangled up with Tristan Fournier, D lineman on the Huskers. And after that flag, the referee going to check in with the Valley sideline here. As I say, the clock was down at 0, so if we are going to have one more play, it would be an untimed down here to end the half.
Number 75, that penalty will be added on to kick it off for the second half. Half is over.
So there you have it. One penalty that will affect the second half kickoff, which of course the Huskers will receive after deferring the coin toss. And finally, both teams jogging off the field to their dressing rooms as halftime is upon us here at the Apple Bowl. As I mentioned, coming up in halftime, we'll get to a chat I had with quarterback Keith Zeiler earlier this week as well. We'll take a look at some second half stats, first half stats rather, as we go into the second half. It's the Okanagan Sun 46, the Valley Huskers no score. You're listening to AM 1150 and BCFC TV.
Bazinga! If you don't have Crave TV, you don't get full seasons of comedies like Seinfeld,
Respect my authority!
The Big Bang Theory.
Hello, Newman.
And South Park.
They're better, let's get at her.
No, wait, I think I got my catchphrases mixed up.
Hello, Newman.
Bazinga!
Pitter-patter!
Respect my authority!
Seinfeld, The Big Bang Theory, Letterkenny, South Park, and more. Legendary moments, legendary characters.
Let's go, Jerry! Go!
Go to cravetv.ca and have a month on us.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
The summer is here, you can feel the heat. Don't want to get burnt? Head on down to Auction World for the coolest deals in town. Whether you need a car, truck, 4x4 SUV and like to save money, Auction World has a vehicle for you. If your budget is $200,000 or $40,000. With over 300 vehicles to choose from and a large selection of motorbikes, boats, trailers, and RVs, Auction World is your one-stop summer shop. Stay cool knowing you save thousands on your vehicle purchase this Saturday.
Auction World saves you money. KelownaAuctionWorld.com.
It's employee pricing at Orchard Ford, and right now you pay what Ford employees pay on Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 51 years. You get employee price adjustments. Plus, eligible Costco members can get an additional $1,000 towards most new F-Series. Get behind the wheel of a 2017 F-250 Super Cab 4x4 XLT for $45,774. Tough, smart, capable, undisputed. Employee pricing is back at Orchard Ford on Highway 97 North and at orchardford.com.
Rona is a proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun and a strong community supporter. They're ready to help you tackle every project you've got. Think Rona for every job, from renovating the house to upgrading the bathroom. Whether it's a huge undertaking or just a small fix-up, they have the products, the prices, and the expertise you need to get the job done right. Visit Rona.ca and tackle every project with Rona. Doing it right. 1711 Springfield Road. Proud sponsor of your Okanagan Sun.
I knew it was a pretty special project. Just the way it was situated, the view is stunning. It's a really nice house.
Gord Turner on the house his team built that won House of the Year at this year's Tommy Awards.
The way the deck flies out off the house, and it's got this thin foil look that the architect was looking for. And again, I can't say enough, our team, we helped them pull that off.
To see this dream home for yourself or to book Turner Custom Homes to build your next dream home, visit turnercustomhomes.ca.
Attention passengers, your flight is now boarding.
Non-stop seasonal service between Kelowna International Airport and Winnipeg on WestJet is now available. 4 times weekly, flights depart every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 12:15 p.m. through September. Book your flight today with WestJet and make Winnipeg your summer destination. For more travel information, visit ylw.kelowna.ca. Kelowna International Airport, your link to the world.
From our team to yours, this is Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl. Here it's halftime between the Okanagan Sun and the Valley Huskers. The hometown team has opened up a 46-0 lead in the first half of play here. I'm Evan Cook. Thanks for joining us here, both on AM 1150 here in Kelowna, as well as on BCFC TV. Of course, this is a broadcast of the British Columbia Football Conference, and it is powered by RE/MAX. Well, we're going to get to some halftime stats in a couple minutes here in this halftime. But first off, as I mentioned just before we went to break there, going to have an interview that happened a little earlier this week with Keith Zyla, quarterback of the Okanagan Sun. Of course, he first played in the team's 19-15 Week 1 win here on home field against the West Shore Rebels. Has not been in action since then, dealing with nagging injury. Now, before the game, heard today that he is quite close to returning. He's dressed, actually, for tonight's game, but starter Nick Wenman, who has been in the last 2 weeks getting the ball for the Sun in this one. So was Zyla forced to wait another week at least before getting back into action. But thought I'd check in with him earlier this week just to see how that's all going, how the recovery process has been for him, how he's dealing with the mental side of being injured when he doesn't want to be and wants to get back in the game. So conversation from earlier this week with Okanagan Sun quarterback Keith Zyla. The season for you, of course, hasn't gone particularly as planned. I know that you've been injured and out of action for the last couple of weeks, but maybe we'll take the opportunity then to go back to Week 1, that game against West Shore at the Apple Bowl here, because you were starting that game and helped the team to a 19-15 win in that one. Given how that game went, are you excited about how the offense has progressed over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We look pretty good. Nick Wenman's done a great job, as everybody knows, right? He did a good job stepping in. The offense just needs to correct a couple mental errors, and I think we'll be way more on point. So it's looking pretty good.
And, I mean, for you, obviously, it's a frustrating thing when you get into the injury situation that you're in. And, I mean, it's a question I almost don't even need to ask, but how tough is it at this point, you know, when you want to be out there, you're on the sidelines, but you just can't compete at that full level?
It's pretty tough, you know, watching the team, but I'm happy to see the guys win, right? That's what's the most important thing to me. So as long as the guys are winning, everybody's happy, and everybody's contributing, I'm happy. So
talk about the game that we had in Langley this past weekend. Like we said, you weren't out there on the field, but you were there at the game taking it in. What kinds of things did you notice from an offensive standpoint putting up 34 points on the Rams in that game?
I think we did good offensively, but just like I said again, a couple mental errors, right? Mental errors and just blocking. The offensive line is looking a little, you know what I mean, rough, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
And, I mean, penalties has also been a thing that has been noticed over the last couple of weeks for sure. It seems like there's been no shortage of them, and I mean, it's not just for this group. It seems across the league there have been more penalties. Have you noticed what from your team in that respect? Because it doesn't seem like a big discipline issue in terms of guys losing their tempers or anything like that. They just seem to be more technical.
Yeah, that's what I meant by rough on the offensive line. I mean, just penalties, right? And I mean, it's not big penalties like guys getting mad, like you said. It's just a holding penalty here and there, and it's in dire situations when we need it, right? When we need the yardage, and it kills us, right? So we can't be having touchdowns and first downs getting called back.
And as far as the group on offense, it seems like there's some familiarity there that you were having week one, and that's continued on here. Obviously, there's going to be turnover year to year, but as far as that familiarity level goes, do you feel pretty good with the offense at this point in terms of the personnel there?
Yeah, I feel confident. We have a lot of receivers that return, so I feel confident with the receivers. They look great, right? We have a couple new O-linemen. It's a lot of rookies that stepped up. Last year they weren't really playing, so they've done a great job. And our running backs were strong. We got Curry, and we got, Brendan Hansen. He's out right now, but we got Robbie Rodriguez as well, so we're deep at running back too.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as you went, maybe even preparing for this season, you kind of came into this knowing that you were going to be the guy, you were going to be the starter there. Did that change your preparation at all heading into the season?
It just made me a little bit more driven, right, focused. I just felt like, I'm going to be the guy now. It's that much more pressure. So I just wanted to do everything I could to be prepared to be in that situation.
And it's not like you didn't play last year, too. You sort of split time with Foster Martins. Did that help getting into action? Not all the time, but still on a fairly consistent basis last year in terms of your preparation for this year?
Yeah, I think it helped a lot, actually, because there's no experience like game experience, right? You could play every play you want in practice, but it's never going to be like the game. So I got a good amount of game experience my first couple of years, and then last year I got a lot. So I think it helped out tremendously.
And does it make it easier when you're in an injury situation like this where you know that there's no quarterback controversy going on behind the scenes? You know that when you're good to go, you'll be back out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know, right? It's good to know that I'm going to be the guy, but it's also good to know that if anything does happen, we have such a good backup quarterback, right? Nick is a good friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's a student of the game, so it's good. We're good.
And, I mean, he says similar things, of course, in talking about you. And is that an interesting dynamic that you've had on teams that you've played on in the past between the two quarterbacks, or is it always a situation more that you find, obviously, your buddies, you're in the same, you think?
Yeah, I feel like it varies. I've been really lucky on the Okanagan Sun. Every year we've been close. I mean, even last year, me and Foster Martins, we were good friends, even though we're still splitting every single rep, right? But the year before, me, Josiah, Joseph, Cam, Nick, we're all still good friends, and I feel like it's a big thing on the Okanagan Sun to be a family, right? So it just transitions from the locker room to the field.
And as we prepare for this weekend, where are you at? Are you hoping to get back out on Saturday at all? How are you feeling at this point?
I'm not sure yet. It depends on the coaches, really. If they want me to sit out and just rest a little bit, I'll probably be back. But if not, I'll wait and come back the next week, hopefully, for VI. So.
For sure. And last question, also about this upcoming matchup this week. What would you like to see out of the offense this week in terms of carrying that momentum that we started to establish the last couple of weeks?
I want to see a quicker start. That's the hardest thing that we've been struggling with, right, is starting on offense. Even when first game, West Shore, Langley, Kamloops, we've been going into halftime with barely any points. So I'd like to see the offense come into halftime with at least 30, hopefully.
That quarterback, Keith Zyla, hoping for 30 points by halftime here tonight against the Valley Huskers. His offense has done him a few better, putting up 46 on Chilliwack here in the opening half. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up the first half, kick off the second half. It's next here on AM 1150 BCFC TV.
Is your Mac making the carries? Is your hard drive running the yards? Simply Computing has been around for over 30 years, almost as long as the Okanagan Sun. They know a thing or two about making sure your machine is at peak performance. Visit Simply Computing for all your Apple needs, from trade-ins to extended warranties and much more. Simply Computing has you covered. shop downtown at 1546 Pandosy or online at simply.ca. Simply Computing, Apple specialists since 1984.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center, for all things barbecue.
Hey, baby, it's the king here, the Brawl King, that is. And these grills have got me all shook up. Cast iron, stainless steel, propane, and natural gas. Free assembly. Uh-huh. Where can a man get a Brawl King of a deal like that?
White's Barbecue and Fireplace Center, corner of Springfield and Spall, for all things barbecue. White's. Put some sizzle on it.
You got a job to do. Backyard, front yard, renovations, or building the whole house. Big jobs or small, Win Rentals has the equipment for them all. From saws, drills, and ladders to the big guns like bobcats, excavators, compaction equipment, and genie lifts, Win Rentals has what you need to get the job done. So whether you're finishing a project in the backyard or leading a job site, rent the equipment that can help you get it done. Visit Win Rentals in Kelowna on McCurdy Road. Renting, it's the smart way to get things done.
You're listening to Kelowna's information station, CKFR, a division of Bell Media. We are AM 1150. News, talk, and sports. This is Okanagan Sun football. Hear it, live it, on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna ahead of second half action between the Sun and the Valley Huskers. Okanagan with a 46-0 lead as we head into second half action. Evan Cook alongside Carson Park for the call of this one. Have a couple stats to talk about in the first half of the game, but Carson, there's some minor football events coming up here in Kelowna that I know that you've got to talk about, so I'll throw it over to you.
Oh, just a little bit of a schedule of local football coming up on August 21st. If you are going to Rutland, Boucherie, or KSS, I believe all three schools are starting their tackle programs on the 21st. So get a hold of the coaches over there. On the 30th, KMFA is hosting a football day at the Mission Turf Field behind the CNC. That's from 5 to 8. It's a barbecue party, so come out, run a couple drills, have a hot dog. I believe maybe bring your own picnic hot dogs. So. And then on the 6th is the Sun Scholarship Dinner at Laurel Packing House. That's from 7 to 9, $50. Entry for a ticket. Find more information on that, I'm sure, on the Sun Facebook page or website. And then on the 8th of September, Rutland and Mount Boucherie kick off the high school football season here at 6:30. So that'll be the start of Friday night football. Tackle football here in Kelowna. It's a great rivalry when you get the two of the three bigger schools playing each other. They really fill the stands.
Yeah, no kidding. And, of course, alumni from those programs represented on the Sun, that's for sure. Dakota Cartier, first-year receiver, played with the KSS Owls last season. Stephen Johnson, a former Mount Boucherie Bear, also just a couple of the local Kelowna guys who are on this Sun team as first years this year, and who knows, they will see them as we get into the second half here, and second and third stringers here. A couple notes just before we get into the kickoff. Looking at first down stats, we've got some for the Sun in front of us. Big enough that stands out, 21 first downs recorded in that first half alone.
Yeah, that is a ton of first downs. And, like, often with these big scores, it's not that the team is driving the field, it's just they keep throwing the ball up and coming down with it. But the Sun are throwing a ton of hooks, a ton of just those mid-range seams, getting a lot of running downs, of running plays of like 7+, 10, 15 yards. Like, I don't know if the Sun have even cracked 25 yards that many times this game, but they've been in the 5 to 15 almost every play.
Exactly. It's been death by 1,000 paper cuts almost here for the Valley Huskers as the kickoff from Isaac Wagner from the 35 because the penalty is up, and now we're back into third quarter action here from the Apple Bowl. The returner there, that once again was Marius Engel, and he's brought down, looks to be just shy of his own 40. So 1st and 10 coming up here. A quick recap, scoring-wise, 46 points, that on 6 touchdowns, a field goal, and a missed field goal for the single point. So touchdowns in this game, Liam Crane, Kyler Mosley, Robbie Rodriguez, Kelton Curry, Nathaniel Anderson, and Isaac Wagner, who ran route as a receiver and picked up a pass in the end zone. Those are your Sun touchdowns and how they find themselves up here, 46-0. So it's Noah Falconer, quarterback of the Huskers, 1st and 10 on his own 37. Doesn't hand off, goes to a deep ball here. That pass is complete over on the far side at the 50-yard line. Crashing up to the 54 is DeAndre O'Connor. Interesting that on that very first possession of the game, O'Connor had the first reception for the Huskers. We haven't seen anything from him since. They throw it back to him to get this second half going here.
Yeah, I've seen them look his way 2 or 3 times in this game, but it seems like since that opening drive, they just keep not quite connecting, balls sailing over him, and just out of bounds when he's in the vicinity, and he hasn't been given that many opportunities since the start of the game.
This will call the timeout, as it looked like there was something funky going on with the sticks over there on the far side of the field, but nice reception from O'Connor, his 2nd of the game. It's good for a 1st down, and that's where the Huskers are here from their own 54-yard line. Falconer once again out of the shotgun. This pass, that one just too far.
That's exactly what I mean, though. They're looking his way again, and instead of having a nice clean break on his hook, he slipped on his hook and then didn't have enough time to recover. Because he couldn't recover, he couldn't get off the ground for that high throw.
Yeah, I was going to confirm with you, because out of the corner of my eye, it sort of looked like he slipped a little bit on the grass, and so he was down to catch his balance, and that meant he couldn't elevate as high, like you say, to catch that pass from Noah Falconer.
That's very representative of the whole game, too. Just not quite enough polish on this young team, and if they had just a little bit more polish, this game would be a lot closer than it is.
Yeah, we've seen good bursts, but just not enough to connect it on, as another pass comes the way of O'Connor. That's complete to him. Will be a gain of close to 5 yards, but on a 2nd down play, that's going to bring up 3rd and 5, and a punt upcoming by the looks of it here for the Huskers.
And that's another one of those veteran moves. You want to run your hooks to the sticks, and he only ran his hooks 2/3 of the way there, so he didn't make it. And had that completion been at the sticks, that's the 1st down, and the drive keeps going, but that doesn't happen. That's going to keep getting tired if the offense can't make those kind of plays.
So here to punt the ball here back at his own 45-yard line. His punt is dropped, and now having to run it up here is Harris. He runs into a tackler, gets up close to the line of scrimmage, but boy, that's where the Sun will take over. Everything that can go wrong for the Huskers seems to be going wrong for the Huskers.
It's especially frustrating because you can see that there's some talent on the field for the Huskers. Like, that kicker just made 4 or 5 Sun players miss to not quite get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It's like that's a phenomenally athletic, exciting run for nothing. And I feel like there's been 4 or 5 great plays for the Huskers this game that have been just like that, where it's do everything you can to get a yard and a half.
So back here, there is Nick Wenman under center. Pass is just a little bit short. He was looking over the far side, Kyler Mosley.
I'm a little surprised to see all these starters still out. Mostly just, I would think at this point you'd want to be getting those polish into your backups and avoid any potential injuries with those starters.
Yeah, it is a little interesting, like you say. I mean, head coach Ben McCauley before the game saying that they're not trying to run the score up on anybody in this game, but we see some first stringers out there as a handoff now to Zach Case. This is his first carry, and he's going a long way up to the 45-yard line of the Huskers.
That's a 15-yard run.
That one there, a 15-yard run for Zach Case. And another big run on a rushing play there for the Sun.
Yeah, that's another first down.
Ball set here at the 45-yard line. Wenman working back there, hands it off to Case once again. He barrels through a couple tackles. There is a flag. Looks like a hold on the Sun, so that run by Case is going to be brought back here. Offensive hold, but it will be a redo on first down, forcing the Sun back close to midfield here.
I'm really liking Case's running style too here. It's at least so far, it's very, very north-south. Keep the Pistons moving, just run into guys.
Yeah, kind of a Kelton Curry vibe from Zach Case. Both of them, of course, come from the province of Saskatchewan. Case here in his third year with the Sun, the 5'7", 170-pounder out of Yorkton. There's a quarterback keep on the option there as Wenman rushing with it gets all the way up to the 45. That will get back just close to the original line of scrimmage there. So I think we're looking at about a 2nd down and 9 here for the Sun. Bit of an option there from Wenman, and a nice run for number 12. .10:40 to play here, third quarter. Sun with a pass to Mosley there. Stiff arms his defender, heads out of bounds close to the 30. That will be good for a first down for the Sun.
Yeah, that was that quick swing pass that they've been running quite a bit. And at the start of this game, they opened the game with a swing pass, and it was tackled right away. And they're the exact same play, and defense is just too tired, so they're not getting off their blocks, and they're not getting to the tackle as quick as they should be, and it's an easy Sun first down.
Yeah, it's a good point here for the Sun offense, which is at an all-time high confidence level. Here's Case once again with speed, barreling over the 20-yard line on a run there from Zach Case, where I think the tackler that brought him down was the first one to even make contact with him. He ran over 10 yards there without even getting touched.
I'm not sure if it's the smaller stature and the number 30 or if it is the running style, but I was talking to a friend earlier today about a favorite running back of mine from the Ottawa Renegades, Josh Ruhanic. Very straight north-south runner. Oh, nowhere to run there, though.
Yeah, handoff from Wenman. That one is going to gain maybe a yard or two here, so it'll be 2nd down. Ball spotted just inside the 20-yard line. I mean, if you're the Huskers here in this situation, what kinds of things do you want to accomplish here in the second half?
As a defense, I just want more breaks, but that is very dependent on the offense getting some first downs under their belt.
Certainly.
So I expect that's really the one thing they have to do. They have to find a way to get some points on the board and come away with that as a positive.
There's a flag down on the far sideline. Pass was a slant there that is going to be a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. 5 yards, the official tally on that pass. Sun signaling that they think this penalty is going against the Huskers. We'll hear from the referee now. At least I thought we were going to. He was walking over as if he was going to announce the penalty. Now here he comes. Looks like another penalty in the Sun here.
Free on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Nate Anderson called on offside there, so the penalty will be a repeat of 2nd down, pushing the Sun back to close to the line as the snap is dropped there. Wenman has to go back to get it, picks it up, runs forward, cutting to the sideline, goes downfield. His pass falls out of bounds, a flag in the middle of the field.
That looks like an area of the field for pass interference. Probably a defensive back pulling on a jersey.
Didn't see who the receiver was down there that was getting held up. But what a best-case scenario that would be for the Sun on that play, who looks like they're getting penalized here. Didn't see, just saw a signal there from the referee. It looked like it might be a clipping call against the Sun on that one. Still talking to the defense here, but yeah, a broken play there for the Sun for sure, who saw the snap get dropped by Wenman. He had to go back, pick it up, was able to run upfield and make a play on a pass that went out of bounds, but penalty announcement upcoming.
Shot clock, which is declined, third down.
So a chop block there called in the Sun. No player identified, so I'm not sure who exactly was whistled down for that, but don't blame the Huskers at all here for declining this penalty just to get to third down, force the Sun to kick this one away here, and for the D get off the field.
Yeah, this is about the distance he missed from earlier, I think. And in the pregame warm-ups, he was warming up from a good 5 or 6 yards further back and being pretty comfortable getting those. So
yeah, Isaac Wagner missed from 29 earlier tonight. This kick will come from the 31. That kick is up. It looks better, and it is good. So Wagner extends the Okanagan lead to 49-0 here. 8:22 remaining in quarter number 3. Take a quick break, come back to the Apple Bowl. It's the Sun and the Huskers on AM 1150.
Superheroes unite. This September, lace up your runners and join forces with family and friends to take part in Kelowna's Parkinson's Super Walk. Raise funds for critical programs, services, and leading-edge research to help make a difference in the lives of those affected by Parkinson's disease. Grab your capes, and we'll see you at Waterfront Park in Kelowna on Saturday, September 9th. To register or donate, visit am1150.ca.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl. Evan Cook, Carson Park here as the Valley Huskers, off of that field goal from the Sun, are just going to start at their own 35 rather than have the ball kicked off to them. Noah Falconer, third-year quarterback, still in for his squad as he throws onto the sideline. That's going to be caught there. It's Marius Engel with the reception, gets into Sun territory with the catch. That's down to the 49-yard line.
A little bit of
25, 26-yard catch when it's all said and done for Engel on that one.
A little bit of mouthing off going on between the Engel and Kitzman there at the sideline. Engel trying to say times on those deep balls, and Kitzman just replying with a finger towards the scoreboard.
Yeah, Engel has been lining up on the side of the field that's close to that Sun sideline. Boy, and there's an undisciplined penalty for the Sun.
I wonder if that was for the point on Kitzman?
Maybe, yeah. I didn't see exactly what precipitated the call, but a major foul on the Sun. And look at the Valley Huskers, who are now sitting on the Okanagan 39, or rather that's even closer than that. That's the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. This is the closest they've been to the Okanagan end zone since the first play of the ball game. Falconer back to pass out of the shotgun. He's going deep to a ball downfield. It's bobbled. That one again for Marius Engel.
I think they're giving Kitzman a penalty on that. I'm pretty sure that he earned that flag by not turning his head back to the ball.
Yeah, the penalty flag came down. It was Ty Kitzman in there with Trey Adams. Throwing in a double coverage there was Falconer, and by the looks of it, yeah, he is going to come out on top, is quarterback Falconer. That's the one, Kitzman with a pass interference call.
That's Dakota Cartier, I think, who was the target there and having a bit of a back and forth with Kitzman in this drive.
Yeah, that one there, well, that was Engel on 80 on the Huskers there,
okay,
who, like you said, was doing a bit of jawing back and forth there with Kitzman, and that time it's number 6, Kitzman, who gets the PI call. So inside the 20-yard line are the Huskers. Falconer 1st and 10, Sun penalties extending this drive. There's a pass. It's tipped and it's picked off. This one for Kitzman, and he's got the entire length of the field to run this all the way back. No flags on the play. Ty Kitzman with a pick six.
And there's his pick a game trend continuing. And I guess he won that jarring contest in that.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Going up against Engel there back and forth. Engel with the catch over top of him. Engel drawing the PI call. But it's Kitzman with the last laugh there, as the offense of the Huskers sent everyone deep there, and once Kitzman picks off that ball, there was just nobody between him and the end zone.
Yeah, especially with all the Sun there to block for him, too. Even if a quarterback or running back could have turned and hightailed it after him, no chance there. It was always going to be a pick six.
So Kitzman essentially runs the entire length of the field on that interception return for a touchdown. Kick is up by Wagner. It is good to make the 56-0 lead official. And that one there, the Sun first interception for a touchdown return they've had this season. They had one in an earlier game. It was called back. Kitzman also had that one. But this one, it is official. Pick six from Ty Kitzman, extending the lead. We'll take another quick break. Come right back to Kelowna. You're listening to BCFC Football on AM 1150.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud community partner of local sports in Kelowna and your Okanagan Sun.
It starts here. This is Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Welcome back to the Apple Bowl, a party type of atmosphere here in Kelowna. Penalty, though. So penalty to the Sun at the end of that play will move the kickoff back. Wagner looks like he's going to kick the ball off from his 20-yard line.
I think that's a 30. Everyone's lined up at the 20.
There we go. Yeah, you're right. 30. I guess I was going to say that would be some kind of penalty, but yeah, you're right. A 15-yard penalty moves it back from the 45 to the 30-yard line here. Now 56-0 for the Sun, who have added 10 points here so far in the third. A 31-yard field goal from Isaac Wagner, as well that interception return for a touchdown from Ty Kitzman. Here's Engel on the return here, bowls into one of his own players and almost lost the ball on that. The Sun going to swarm him up and take him to the ground just over top the 35-yard line, but it's just the little things that we're seeing pile up for the Huskers there, and as you see, Engel runs into one of his own blockers on the return.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see everybody get up there. That was, once he hit his own player, ran into his own player in the back, it sent that guy head first into somebody else's legs, and a big pile formed. Just happy nobody lost a knee or got concussed or anything in that.
Yeah, no kidding. That pile forms in a hurry, and nobody fortunately caught in an awkward spot at the bottom of it. So first and 10 here on the 38-yard line. Noah Falconer back here with the Huskers offense, who, boy, so frustrating. Came so close to a score last play, if not for that interception. Rush up by Eddie Perrin is going to be stopped 2 yards past the line of scrimmage.
That is so typical of this game and how their season's gone, though. They drive the field, have some positive things going, make some big plays against one of the Sun's better players, only to have it end with the Sun scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, it's been the story of tonight, and to a larger extent, the story of a lot of what's happened with the Huskers so far this season. And, you know, I wonder from an offensive standpoint how much points will matter to them just to break through and get on the scoreboard again. Like we say, that's been the other storyline coming into this game, being shut out each of the last two games, still being shut out in the third quarter here tonight. As back to bat to the far side of the field is Falconer. He was looking for Marius Engel, who's becoming a favorite target of him here tonight. But to that one, too far for his receiver, brings up third down.
Yeah, in terms of the points, I feel like that is a mental hurdle that they need to find a way to clear it. But I hope they're able to leave this game taking away some positives. Yeah, the score's gotten way out of hand, but they started the game really well.
Yep.
They easily could have finished that first quarter. They could easily finish that first quarter up. They could have gotten another 7 points in the second quarter. And yeah, that last drive that was a 14-point swing on one play. So they definitely shouldn't be winning the game, but they need to realize that they're a lot closer than the scoreboard indicates.
Danny Harris just gets a punt off as it rolls inside the 40 and out of bounds.
Especially with how many rookies they have. Like, that alone, the fact that it was only 8-0 and could have been 7-1 for the Huskers in a team of essentially entirely rookies is a phenomenal feat of its own.
And I will say, too, good punt there from Harris, who sticks the Sun back inside their own 40-yard line. They haven't had field position like this a whole lot on offense tonight, and that off a nice punt there that he was just able to get away.
Looks like somebody is taking a knee on the Sun.
Yeah, Sun player right by that football there taking knee. So we'll take a quick break with this injury. The score 56-0 for the home team Sun. We'll be right back here on AM 1150 BCFC TV.
Kelowna. August is Muscle Tech Madness Month at Popeyes.
All your favorites on sale like Hydroxycut, one of Canada's best-selling supplements, now in an exclusive size to Popeyes.
Also newly available are Muscle Tech's amazing BCAA formulas in peach mango and white grape. Come get a sample today.
At Popeyes on Springfield Road, the official supplements provider to your Kelowna Rockets, Sun Football, and Kelowna Falcons.
August is Muscle Tech Madness Month at Popeyes.
Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Back here at the Apple Bowl, where the Sun have a lead. The injured player was Nate Anderson, who just makes his way off the field. So 1st and 10 for Okanagan. They're at their own 38-yard line. This one, another handoff from Wenman. That over the far side to Joseph Okunlola, who's had some nice runs here tonight. Really, we've seen nice gains from all 4 running backs on the Sun at different times tonight. And that one there, he was stuffed in a hurry. Will be second down and a couple to go here. Wenman back to pass, second down and 12. That one off the hand of Crane. And that'll just fall incomplete. So a win there for the Huskers D, who gets, I want to say, their first 2 and out of the ball game.
Oh, it's their first in the first quarter anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I know. Even that, though, like, even where they finally get a positive 2 and out, I wonder if their offense had gotten a little more productivity this game, if the safety there would have had a little more gas to try to go for that pick, because it was tipped up there and took 2 or 3 steps and kind of gave up on it. And I don't know, I feel like if that's the start of the game, he goes for that.
Yeah, it's a good point. The coverage just wasn't tight on that one, and Crane, who got a hand on it, left it up there. So back to punt here is Matt Panatoni, linebacker on the Sun, who's had some punts, and this one is going to sail just out of bounds at about the Valley 43-yard line. So that's where they'll start here. No return to the punt there, but Panatoni, who we've seen a couple of times punt the ball away anyway, comes up with one there. That his 4th punt of the season. He's had 3 previous to this for a total of 58 yards for an average of just over 19 yards a punt. Not bad for a rookie linebacker on the Sun.
And at least on that one, they had him do a little bit of a rollout, which definitely sacrifices a little bit of the leg that you typically get out of your punt. That lets you position it a little better.
1st and 10 here on the 42. Falconer almost exclusively passing now, and this one is behind the receiver, DeAndre O'Connor.
Yeah, I couldn't step into that one and just threw it probably 7-8 yards short.
Yeah, a very short throw there, and we've talked in previous games too, that becomes tough when the quarterback is throwing to this far side of the field, especially later in the games, and that one just didn't have enough gas on it to get to his receiver.
Yeah, it's a pass he's been overthrowing a little bit this game too, so he's been stepping into it well. I think the pass rush on that one just didn't let him step into it the way he has been.
2nd and 10 here for the Huskers. They marched deep into Sun territory. Last one offside by the looks of it against the Sun here as Falconer was being pressured. That was Panatoni out there at linebacker who flew in and had pressure on him early, but he looked to get an early jump on that one.
Yeah, he definitely was in the backfield before the ball was snapped. I like that quick snap and release, just try to make something, try to get a free play out of it. Although in a perfect world, he'd try to get a little more air out under that to give his receiver a chance instead of just putting that bullet into the sideline. Oh, self-defense, really.
Yeah, exactly, because he was going to get crushed if he held on to that ball for too much longer. So with the penalty here, it becomes a 2nd down and 5, moving the ball up to the 47-yard line. And it just seems to be, especially when you look at that last offensive series by the Huskers, they're just in a situation where their drives are really only getting extended by Sun penalties. This one, a bit of a play action there across the midfield. That'll be good for a 1st down. Pass caught by Nathan Denoye. Haven't heard from him in a while, but able to connect with him on that pass is Falconer, and that'll bring it up to the Okanagan Sun 50-yard line. Nice play there for a 1st down and 10.
Yeah, the defense is really going to appreciate that 1st down. There haven't been a lot of 1st downs the last 2 drives. It's given them a little bit more of a breather. Hopefully they can turn that into some momentum here going into the 4th, at least to keep the Sun pinned into their own end of the field and maybe get some points out of this.
Substitution on the offense had Marius Engel come back on the field. They put 4 receivers on the right side looking for Engel. Yes, they do. Over on the left side, he tries to get a step on the defender. Battling back there, I think, with Kitzman once again, and this one falls incomplete over his head out of bounds, bringing up 2nd and 10. We've seen that a few times with stacking the receiver to isolate Engel on one side of the field, and they call his number when that happens.
Yeah, they've definitely tried to go over the top a few times today. It's real well when the Sun have been in man coverage, but right there against the cover 3, the defensive back is just already in that deep zone, just kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, I expect we'll see more of that type of defensive coverage here later in the game with these longer passes here from Falconer, it seems, on every play. Here's one over the middle. That one tipped, and it's going to be picked off by the Sun. Just having his feet taken out from under him there was Liam Johnston. But a big pick from the Sun DB, again, off a tipped pass that just fell right into his hands.
Yeah, if the ball's going to touch your hands, you have to pull that in as a receiver. What's even worse for him is he didn't catch the ball, and when he landed, he had to eat a pretty big hit. If you're going to get hit anyway, you got to reel that catch in. It'll make you feel a lot better about it.
Tough play there. Tough play for the quarterback, too, Falconer, who's got to be thinking there's not much more he can do on a play like that. Ball was there, like you said, but just tipped up and into the hands of Liam Johnston for the 3rd Sun interception on the night. Okanagan takes over on the 52-yard line. 1st and 10. Wemmen over to Mastrodimos. He connects, bursts by a tackler there, and is now brought down at about the 45-yard line. First catch for Tyson Mastrodimos since the first half of this ball game. And it'll be 1st and 10 as we enter the final minute here of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Mastrodimos out there with 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter and a 56-point cushion.
Well, it's interesting because we've talked about our surprise for seeing some of these starters still out there. As Wenman just going to hand this ball off now. Nice tackle up the middle there to bring down Case, shy of a first down. He's still a couple yards away from that, falling inside the 40. But, I mean, it is an interesting discussion that we brought up, especially because a few minutes ago we saw Nate Anderson kind of hobble off the field, and wouldn't that just be a stinker for the Sun, really, if one of their big-time starters went down with any kind of injury in a game that's so far out of reach here at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's just waiting for this last quarter to finish up before they start cycling in a full second team of rookies, or if they're planning on keeping a couple starters in the whole game to try to keep that pace going.
So Wenman keeps, rolls to his right under pressure, throws it upfield. That one's going to be picked off.
That was by Keyshawn Joseph, I think. That would be the safety I thought would have been making an interception earlier. So nice to see him get another chance to make a play.
Yep, Keyshawn Joseph with the pick there. That one feels good for that defense who's been under fire tonight, and a big pick there to send the offense back on the field and turn away the Sun from putting up points here, which is something the Huskers have been able to do in the last couple of possessions. Third quarter has just come to an end here, so the team's heading back down towards the other side of the field. Going to be first down and 10 for the Huskers on their own 37-yard line. But, I mean, this defense here for the Huskers, who we heard from their head coach Bob Reese before the game talk about, says that his D's been playing very well this season. His team relies on them a lot. Words from the head coach before the game, and a big play there on the turnover, the first one forced for the Huskers here tonight. It's a handoff here. We've got a switch at quarterback as we start the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a run for a first down here as well. Garrett Fadak, his first carry of the ball game, going to take it up near the 50-yard line. Looks like Nikolai Nika, backup QB for the Huskers, first-year lefty thrower.
I hope they find a way to get a couple more runs out of that running back. That was some good explosiveness. I feel like that's the most energy an offensive player's shown in a while.
And Garrett Fadak with the one there. He blocks this time for a pass coming to the far sideline. That one well too far for the receiver over on that far side.
Great catcher by Unesco, about 2 yards out of bounds, though.
That was Harrison Johnson, the defensive back who was lining up as a receiver on that last play. And Nikolai Nika just throws it too far out of bounds. So second down and 10 on his own 49-yard line. Once again, back to pass, dropping through the middle of the field. That one is going to be picked off and easily by the Sun. Cutting up across midfield now, being brought down at the 45-yard line.
Barrios?
Yeah, just trying to get confirmation again on who that was. But, yeah, that one there, Aldrich Barrios, who has already had a pick so far tonight, I believe, and recovered a botched kickoff return as well by the Huskers. Picks up the interception in the middle of the field there.
Oh, that's a big game.
And it'll be first down Okanagan at the 45-yard line of the Huskers.
And the Sun have made a quarterback change finally.
So Matthew Moeller, who we've seen warming up at a few different times over the course of this evening, is under center there. His first play, a handoff up the middle, and that is going to be run right up the gut and into the end zone. Joseph Okunlola with a 45-yard run, was barely touched, it felt like, that entire time, and he rumbles through to add on for another Sun touchdown.
Yeah, that was just cut straight up the middle and lots of daylight. Split the deep defensive backs there who tried to tackle him, and yeah, that's just another Sun big play, and I feel like that's still the Chilliwack defense. That's just a fatigue play at this point.
Yeah, no kidding. As Okunlola, who picks up his first touchdown as a member of the Sun, the first year back out of Burnaby, had 5 rushing attempts coming into tonight and has had at least that and then a couple here tonight, capping that latest one off with a big 45-yard score. Extra point is good. Sun leads to 63-0. We'll take a break. Come back from the Apple Bowl. You're listening to BCFC Football on AM 1150.
Looking for a new beer? Been around the city trying to find a breathtaking blonde that is easy on the eyes, cool, and refreshing? Look no further. We got a cool local in your neighborhood. Introducing the newly repackaged Caribou Blonde. If this beauty sounds like music to your ears, it certainly could be. Caribou Blonde now comes with earbuds at participating retailers. Caribou Blonde. Sounds good. Must be legal drinking age. No purchase necessary.
Under the helmet and between the 50s. This is your all-access pass to Okanagan Sun football on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to the Apple Bowl, where the Sun have just taken a 63-0 lead over their visitors, the Valley Huskers. Joseph Okunlola with a 45-yard carry up the middle of the field into the end zone on that one. As tough night continues here for the visitors from Chilliwack, who coming into this game, like we've talked about, hadn't scored since week 1, came close on their first drive, and even won here in the second half, as that a line drive kick is going to roll out of bounds, or no, stay in bounds just to the far sideline by the 20-yard line of the Huskers. Nowhere to go on the return, though. And
that was about as good a kick as you could get.
Yeah, no kidding.
Returner just tried to let it roll out of bounds, and it died before it got to the sideline.
Yeah, solid line drive kick there into an open part of the field near the sidelines, and like you say, he just wouldn't get that final roll out of bounds. And so that'll send the offense back onto the field. Nikolai Nika under center here for the Huskers. Backup QB who's gotten into a little bit of action here so far this year, getting some fourth quarter snaps here. There's a handoff there, that to the back, Fadak, and he'll get up towards the 25-yard line.
I definitely think he's been the most successful running back for Chilliwack tonight.
Yeah, he sure has. As that his second carry, but looks like he got 6 yards on the carry, so 2nd and 4 here. Taking a look at the last game that the Huskers played against the VI Raiders last week. That one ended up a 40-0 final for the Raiders, but Nika also got into that game as well. Went 3 for 4 for 111 yards in that one. Botches the snap there. It rolls between his legs. The Sun think they have it, and the officials say they do as well. Boy, tough play there once again for the Huskers. And on this one, it's big number 52, Ryan Marquardt, coming up with the fumble recovery, and it'll be Sun 1st and 10 deep in Husker territory.
Didn't quite catch why exactly it was that was called dead, and really disappointing for the D lineman not to be able to scoop and score that. And then as a defensive player, having to go out there, that's super frustrating.
Well, exactly, and I mean, this is coming off, of course, the defense who put up that huge interception a couple of plays ago from Keyshawn Joseph, and then the next series had the Sun come back with an interception of their own to bring them back out on the field. Mahler, the handoff this time. That to the inside, that to Okunlola, who rumbles up and will get in the end zone once again, making it look easy. Big number 34 with his second touchdown in almost as many minutes here.
Second touchdown as many carries?
Yeah, I believe so. That was the first carry for Okunlola since that last touchdown. This one, not quite 45. It'll be about 25. But nonetheless, a big carry there, big touchdown for the Sun, who with a successful convert will bring this score up to a 70-point lead against the Huskers from Chilliwack. We've got just over 12 minutes left to play, separating us from the end of this ball game. Wagner still back there to kick this one here for the Sun. That kick is up, and it is good for the extra point, bringing it to that 70-0 mark. Another quick break. We'll come back to the Apple Bowl. You're listening to the BCFC TV broadcast as well here on AM 1150.
When you need to feel better now, intravenous therapies are an excellent option.
Dr. Garrett Swetlikoff of Kelowna Naturopathic Clinic.
Picked up a bug you can't shake? Our Bug Buster IV can knock it out. Stressed, exhausted, and run down? Our Chill Tonic or Energy Bomb is for you. Anxious or depressed? Then you may want our Mood Booster Infusion. Safe, effective, and customized. Call us about our premier IV services.
To find out more, visit Kelowna Naturopathic Clinic online at natural-medicine.ca.
You're listening to Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Back here at the Apple Bowl, Evan Cook, Carson Park, alongside you for this one is the Okanagan Sun and Joseph Okunlola, who's scored a couple touchdowns in the last few minutes. Takes the Sun lead to 70-0 at this point. Isaac Wagner getting set to kick off from the 45-yard line. A tough night for the Huskers here, who even talked a little bit at the pregame show, will find themselves in fairly tough next week as well when they head out to the island and take on the West Shore Rebels in Langford next week. So here a return upcoming here. O'Connor gets the ball on it, and he'll get wrapped up at the 30-yard line. DeAndre O'Connor with a decent return there will send the offense of the Huskers back onto the field here. For the Sun, of course, they'll also be headed to Vancouver Island next week. And they've got a date with the VI Raiders set. That's happening next Saturday afternoon. Then the mid-season bye week coming up, and then following that bye week, the Raiders come back here to the Apple Bowl for the first game out of the break. So kind of a home and home, if you will, with those two teams coming up next for the Sun, as the Huskers going to call a timeout here. 11:48 left to play in this one. We'll take another break. Come back to the Apple Bowl. It's the Sun leading the Huskers here on AM 1150.
At Kelowna BMW, we sold more cars to start this year than ever, thanks to you and our amazing BMW lineup. Right, Hayden?
That's right, Gord. Selling BMW is a lot of fun when the award-winning 3 Series and 4 Series have the lowest lease payments I've ever seen. The X Series SAVs are very payment-friendly as well. Plus, people are finding huge value in the all-new redesigned 2018 5 Series.
For a vehicle that will turn heads and leave plenty left over for life's other simple pleasures, check out KelownaBMW.ca, the home of no-charge schedule maintenance.
From our team to yours, this is Okanagan Sun Football on AM 1150.
Back here as the Valley Huskers getting set to go out on offense. Once again, it's 1st and 10. They're starting this drive from their own 31-yard line. Taking a handoff there is Nika rolling to his left. Throws upfield. That one batted away. Intended receiver there was Harrison Johnson once again, but throwing it a tight coverage was Nika, unable to come up with a completion.
Yeah, he's almost lucky UNESCO didn't come up with a pick there, undercutting that route.
For Nika here, are you a bit surprised to see the backup quarterback in this ball game here for the Huskers? Obviously a blowout for them, but are you surprised to see them?
Not particularly. You want to, when the game's this out of hand, you don't want your starting quarterback to get hurt in some fluke incident. And it's good to get this guy some good reps, good game reps against a good defense.
Yeah, here in his rookie season, as mentioned, there's a flag right off the snap. Nika's going to run to the sideline there, just get back to the line of scrimmage before running out of bounds. That was on a 2nd down and 10 play, of course.
But there's a flag on the play.
Somebody out of position, going to be an offside call here, and it is going to go against the Sun. So we'll replay 2nd down, make it a 2nd and 5 here. I'll try to keep an eye out for some of the Sun players who came into the lineup here tonight who hadn't been in the first couple of weeks.
I really just hope they keep trying to feed Garrett Feddick.
76 on the defense was called. I'm not sure that the Sun have a 76. Well, it actually is. It's Nico Muskego who was talking about one of the players who hadn't cracked the line in the first few weeks. He is one of them, getting his first start here for the Sun tonight, called on that one. Completion up the middle of the field. This one to Jacob Penner. It's his first catch in the ball game. Nice time for it. He'll get up beyond the sticks for a first down here on that 2nd and 5, taking the ball up to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, that's a big first down for the Huskers. It's good for them to just get positive yardage, especially if they can find a way to break that double donut on the board in the next 10 minutes.
No kidding, as that would be nice to see for them, just to get that monkey off the back, if you will, and put up some points here in a fourth quarter. Still on their side of the field, 1st and 10 at their own 44. Nika drops back to pass. He's going to go deep up the middle of the field, and that one's going to connect. Going deep is Engel. He's got time, space for the score to run in, and the Valley Huskers here with 10-10 left to go, exchanging a couple of high fives and hugs on the sidelines, finally breaking through that Sun defense, putting a score on the board.
Yeah, it looked like that was the deep one down the far sidelines again, only there wasn't Ty Kitzman out there to defend against it. And finally blew that roof off the top.
Marius Engel, they've been calling his number a few times tonight, and he finally brings down that touchdown pass. Had a little something to say
on
to
the way
Sun
by
bench.
the bench. I think that might have been Zyla saying something to him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the chirping certainly has not subsided at any point in this ball game, as you might expect. But
that's almost the most fun part of the sport, really.
You can probably say that about many sports, football no exception. Looks like a couple late substitutions here for the kicking team. The interesting thing, too, about the Huskers is they go for this extra point here, going to be kicked by Danny Harris, and he is going to be good on that one. There was a flag down, though.
Yeah, the Huskers are doing something that is pretty classic of teams to do. They'll start everybody up standing real tall, and then in unison will drop down to try to draw the offside, and it looks like it succeeded. Sometimes the refs will say that you're not allowed to do that because excessive motion before the play. But looks like they are calling it on the Sun.
Yep, they are. Sun whistle for the offside there. So Huskers cut the lead to 70-7. Was going to say before that extra point attempt was made there by Danny Harris. Taking a look at his statistics there, he's converted on all extra point attempts that he's made. But because of how things have gone this year for the Huskers, they've, I believe, only attempted one field goal. Yeah, they're 1-for-1 field goals this year. So that kind of an interesting thing, too, where you've got a kicker like Harris, who you were talking about before the game, were impressed with his leg. Looks like a good kicker, but just hasn't had that many opportunities to flex it throughout the season here.
It's especially too bad thinking right back to the start of the game. They had the chance to kick a field goal when it was 1-0 for the Sun, and they could have gone up 3-0, and they went for that fancy fake.
There's an onside kick attempt. That one is just going to be kicked right into the chest of the Sun player on the far side. I think that's Tyler Going, who was there on the return team, and so an onside attempt will give it first down and 10 here for the Sun at their own 50-yard line.
Considering the Sun returns, it's probably a pretty smart move. Give yourself a chance to get the ball back, and pretty decent chance the Sun were going to get up to that point anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Huskers just once again playing with nothing to lose here, really, and not a bad attempt there to try to gain a possession back. Didn't happen that time, so it's first down and 10 for the Sun. Matthew Mahler under center for Okanagan in this one, getting his second action of the year. Crane with a pass, but he gets hit, still on his feet, though. Now he'll get wrapped up. Forward progress will still spot this one a few yards shy of that original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was another one where the Sun were looking for that quick bubble screen, and Chilliwack's defense, I don't know if they've caught a second wind, but there was 2 or 3 guys who thought, I'm going to go try to take that ball from them.
Yeah, Liam Crane with the reception there. The Sun veteran receivers at a touchdown here tonight had nowhere to go. bringing up second down and long. Sun need to get to the Valley 50 to pick up a first down here. Mahler to pass, this one up the middle to Crane. That was almost a suicide pass, wasn't it? As licking his chops there.
He's lucky Joseph went for the ball because he easily could have separated him in half.
Yeah, Keyshawn Joseph, who came out with an interception earlier, the safety who almost took off Liam Crane's head with that hit there. But fortunately for the Sun, Crane is all good after that one, and they'll just send the punt team on to kick this one away. Matt Panatoni, who we've seen get some punting action earlier tonight, is back out there for the kick this time around. Clock down to 8:50 here. Now we're getting a whistle. Looks like somebody called a timeout. Yeah, I think it's the Huskers that did call this timeout. So we'll take a quick break from the Apple Bowl as well. Huskers on the board, trailing 70-7. You're listening to BCFC football right here on AM 1150.
Ask the Bohemian Cafe what the recipe for a great catered event is, and they'll tell you
it takes a menu designed for the event.
With enough food for anyone, whether it's just a small gathering at your home or office to a large event like a wedding or conference.
In any location, even in the Bow.
It's about listening to your client and creating the perfect menu.
And delivering a meal your guests will post about.
The Bohemian Cafe, an eating experience for 25 years. Book your event at bohemiancater.com.
This is Okanagan Sun football. Hear it, live it on AM 1150.
Welcome back here to Kelowna. The Okanagan Sun getting set to punt this ball away. Flag off the snap. Panatoni walks up a few yards, then boots it up here to the 20-yard line, where falling on it is O'Connor, the returner. Going to be a no-yards flag on that return as well as a flag thrown back near the line of scrimmage. So we'll wait to see how these penalties are handed out.
I suspect it's going to be an offside and a no yards.
So I believe that would give the Huskers an opportunity to decline one and take the other. Officials will, of course, waving this ball up close to midfield after it was right down at the 20-yard line where that no yards penalty was handed out. So they'll move up all the way to the 45. Okay, so with the offside there, we're actually going to redo the third down kick. Move back 5 yards from where it was. Looks like Panatoni, the punter, is getting signals from coaches there on the sidelines of what they want him to do with that kick.
Yeah, it seems like with Panatoni back there, they have the strategy to let him take a couple of steps and try to angle it out to the sidelines on our near side here.
Yeah, ran up a couple yards as last time. Low snap. This one, he'll sort of turn into a squibber off the top of his foot. Falling on it at the 30-yard line is O'Connor. Late hit there, too. I think
Beck Fullerton
that was Beck Fullerton who went in.
Real dirty hit.
Yeah, that was a hard late hit there on O'Connor, and it's not what you want to see at this point in the ball game.
Kind of landing on top of his head when he's just laying on the ball.
Pushing and shoving with the Huskers sideline right there is quickly snuffed out here by the officials. So credit them on that. But kind of a surprising play to see there from the fifth-year veteran of the Sun who...
Oh, and they're throwing more flags over by the Huskers bench, which I don't know. I don't know what they're saying down there to earn those, but that's bother me a little bit as a player.
Yeah, no kidding. That's Bob Reist, head coach, who's in there speaking with an official in an animated way. He's asking for Fullerton to be kicked out of the game right now. And I think it was looking like that wasn't going to happen, and I think that's what set off the coaching staff of the Huskers at this point. But
yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the rule book says in terms of what constitutes something to get you kicked out of the game, but I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that one remove a guy When you have a guy just laying on the field holding the ball, like go up and tag him or something. You can't just be landing on top of him, especially when you're coming towards him, like towards his head first.
Yeah, no kidding, especially at this point, at a time when the Sun have a 63-point lead. There's only 8 minutes left to go in this game. You'd really like to see both teams get out of here with nobody getting hurt at this point.
Especially so unnecessarily.
Completely. Now, the referee had to pull out his notepad on there to jot down everything his fellow officials saw. He's now gone over to the Sun side of the field to talk with Ben McCauley. And after all that is said and done, surprised to see the ball
not really move.
Not really move. Yeah, stay kind of where it's been set on the 32-yard line, where DeAndre O'Connor went down, was right at the 30.
Foul on the play. We have number 2, objectionable conduct on the bench, 5-yard difference, still alcohol, first foul.
So, I mean, just an unnecessary roughness call called on Beck Fullerton there for that hit, and that's essentially canceled out by the objectionable conduct penalty from the bench. Boy, that's a tough one for the Huskers there, not turning a play like that at least into a positive gain for field position. So a handoff here to Fadak. Looked like he stumbled a little bit coming out of the backfield, and so he'll get up close to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like a Huskers O-lineman is taking his time to get up. He's all right, though.
Yeah, good news there for the Huskers here as we're now inside 8 minutes to play. Going to be 2nd and 10 by the looks of it for Valley from that 32-yard spot, maybe a yard loss on that last play. Nikolai Nika going to be back to pass, looks deep, doesn't throw it, fakes it, now cuts to his left. There's a wobbler upfield. It's picked off by the Sun. That's Awashko, who's going to cut down into the middle of the field, away from tacklers, still on his feet. Now he'll get taken down from behind, out to the 30-yard line.
Have a flag on the turf again, though.
I think
looks like about where the interception was made.
Yeah.
That was the interception by Ryan Awashko.
I initially thought that that flag came down after the pick by Ryan Awashko, but we'll see what the referee has to say here.
After the interception, we had a legal block number 52. Penalty applied with the ball runs through the foul. O'Connor ball, first down.
So the penalty is after the interception. It is for an illegal block. And so that will move things. The penalty is enforced from where that illegal block happened. So that takes the ball all the way back just across midfield. It's going to be Okanagan first down and 10 on the Valley Huskers 53-yard line. At this point here with 7:18 to go in this football game, really just trying to use up as much of that clock as possible here over the next little while. Mahler on a QB keep on the play action. Goes one way, now cuts back to the right side. He's going to get tackled from behind just inside the 50-yard line. As it was a nice play there by Travis Dietrich. Big number 92, that D lineman there for the Huskers, who we've talked about at points tonight, who was able to follow Matt Mahler with speed and make that tackle, jumping on him to bring up a 2nd and 6 here for the Sun. From the Valley 51-yard line. Going to be a pass over to the far side here. That one, Dakota Cartier, getting his first action of the night for the Sun. Looks like it is a completed pass to him, sitting right on the 50-yard line, but that on a 2nd down play doesn't gain any yardage, so we'll bring up 3rd down with about 5 yards to go here.
3rd down and 5.
Sun getting set to punt this one away.
I do not see Fullerton out there, which is worth noting.
Yeah, maybe the coaching staff on the Sun just keeping him off the field at this point after that last play. Wagner is to backtrack a little, but gets the kick off in good time. Nice high kick, gets to the 20-yard line. Both players slipped on the ball. And a no-yards penalty here as dodging hits was Danny Harris. Didn't end up picking up the ball, just let the Sun defenders slide into it. But a bit of a slippery field down there to the 20-yard line. Both guys going in on the football look to have their feet almost come out from underneath them. So we'll sort out the flags here. 5.5 minutes left to play. The official's going to walk this ball up to the 35-yard line. Rather, ball on the 36 here, 1st and 10. Still getting reps at quarterback is Nikolai Nika. First-year backup QB for the Huskers, who's had some action already early on this season, getting some more here in the fourth quarter tonight. There's a handoff to Fadak, who gets a nice run there. All the way up just shy of the 50 will bring about a first down run there. Garrett Fadak, second year, running back out of Foam Lake, Saskatchewan. We've been impressed with his limited action tonight. Late in the ball game, he's had some nice plays.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the depth chart looks like over in Chilliwack, but I like to think that he's earning himself some future reps here in the last end of this game. So he's definitely been the most successful running back. We've been impressed with some of the moves that have put on by other guys, but just nobody's been able to get down the field.
Now to Nika, who fakes the handoff, cuts over to the left side, and he'll run this one out of bounds up near the 50-yard line. So Nikolai Nika, the QB keep there, cutting to the outside, gaining, by the looks of it, a couple of yards. 2nd and 8 coming up here at the 49-yard line of the Huskers.
They got 2nd down and 8.
Some offensive series here that we saw a touchdown a few plays ago, of course, but really not looking too shabby here are the Huskers here in the fourth quarter with their backup quarterback under center. This pass tipped in the middle of the field, and is that going to come down as an interception, or is it an incomplete? Yep. It is another pick for the Okanagan Sun. Just trying to...
Is that number 18 again?
Just trying to see who comes out of the pile. Yes, it is.
How many turnovers is that for him today? I feel like he has like 3 or 4.
I think that's at least 4.
That is insane.
Yeah, that's Aldrich Barrios.
Like, the best day of football I had in my life was one of our preseason camps, our scrimmage for our preseason camp, and I had 4 turnovers that day, and that was a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Doing 4 turnovers in a real game is unheard of.
Yeah, we don't have official real-time stats in front of us, but I think that's the 3rd interception from my recollection and notes anyway for Barrios here tonight. Run play for the Sun, gains about 8, but there's a flag down, and it looks like a hold is going to bring this one back.
And a flag on the play.
So an offensive hold against the Sun.
On the offense, number 5-0. 10-yard penalty.
5-0 is offensive lineman Liam Hamlin. So that'll bring up 2nd and 20 here for the Sun on their own 35-yard line. 4 minutes separating us from the end of this ball game. As mentioned, both teams hitting the road next week, both teams out to Vancouver Island. It's the Huskers who get the West Shore Rebels and the Sun who get the VI Raiders. There's a pitch to the outside there. Okunlola with a gain up to the 50-yard line. He'll gain that penalty back plus another 5 yards. 15-yard run for Joseph Okunlola. Going to be 2nd down and 5 from the Sun 50.
Yeah, they've been real successful on that quarterback option pitch play. Just trying to pick on that, optioning that defensive end, making him have to decide who's going to carry the ball, and it's a tough play for that guy.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're up against a fatigued defense like we've been seeing all night here for the Huskers. That play there, the Sun are exploiting it well and have a few times. Mahler with another handoff. This one to Okanagan. Kind of the power rush right up the middle there. Close to midfield, close to a first down. We'll see exactly where they spot it. Interesting to see, too, Shamar Donaldson back out in the field for the Sun. He's actually one of the starters in this game, getting his first action of the year, wide receiver, who had the second highest number of receptions for the Sun last season at wide receiver. Played early, but then was kind of taken out as the score started to develop the way it did.
Yeah, especially since I think he was dealing with a hamstring. I'm not sure if that's exactly what his week was, but when you sit out for a game that long, it's a little strange to see him somebody recovering from an injury or coming back from an injury to go back out there after being cold for so long.
Well, they're bringing the flag sticks out in the field just to measure up this one. If it keeps going the Sun's way, it'll be a first down. Looks like they're maybe just short. Third down, and that truly is inches. That's probably about an inch and a half away from a first down for the Sun.
Literally
close to midfield. Yeah. So the back remains Okanagan. Now, as I say that, Donaldson is going to jog off here on the short yardage situation, which makes sense.
Looks like third down and less than 1 for your Okanagan Sun.
Matthew Mahler still under center here for the Sun. He, as we've talked about, came in a little later than we might have thought. Started playing in the fourth quarter after Nick Wenman led the offense for the first 3.
Yeah, especially with how strong that second quarter was, I expected him to come in sometime in the third, if not start the third. Looks like I'd expect a quarterback sneak here coming up here.
I formation is where the Sun are right now, and that's exactly what it is. Mahler keeping the ball and pushing through the pile. That will certainly be enough for a first down as he gets in out across midfield.
In the CFL game, like in the Canadian rules, if you can't get a quarterback sneak on anything less than a yard, then you're going to have to run your own line all week, because that's a problem.
Yeah, no kidding. And the Sun, you've said it before tonight, it just seems like on top of a play with such high probability like that, it's just been everything working for the Sun here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we saw the Huskers struggle and missed out on a short yardage earlier.
Another option play for the quarterback. Keeps it this time to Mahler, and he'll get taken down at about the 50. Good sell by the running back Okanagan on that one. Mahler kept it cut wide and certainly ran more than 5 yards to pick up that gain of 5, but that's where second down will be for the Sun here.
Yeah. That was a little surprised to see the designed quarterback run. But he ran it strong, and I like the stiff arm he was trying to throw at the end, too.
2:10 left to go here in the ball game. Sun lead at 63 as they play on the Huskers side of the field, the 50-yard line. That one a handoff to Zach Case. He'll barrel that pile along with his blockers up to about the 45.
Oh, and there's a scrap.
Scrap happening here. Especially after that hit we saw by Fullerton a few minutes ago, I'm actually a little surprised we haven't seen a little bit more of this over the course of this game here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of that is it didn't really start to get chippy until the game started to get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah.
And at that point, I feel like instead of worrying so much about retaliating, the Huskers are more worried about just getting out of here and going home.
Looks like third down and 2 yards to go here. Ball spotted at the 45. Another short yardage situation here for the Sun, who will not go for it, of course. Will punt this one away. That's Wagner with another good one, sending his man back into the end zone. Having to come out of it is Marius Angle, and he'll just take a knee in that end zone and give up the point there.
No run back in the end zone, single point.
Kind of a no-brainer there on that situation when
Definitely.
a great kick A great punt by Wagner sends him back over his head, and he had nowhere to go, trying to rush that one out of the end zone.
Yeah, that was definitely the smart play there. Just take the yards, don't worry of risk. Special teams plays are where more of the injuries happen, so if you're going to try to make some crazy thing happen on a special teams play, now is probably not the best time for it.
So the second single kicked by Wagner tonight means it's 1st and 10 on the 35 here. Nikolai Nika finishing this game at quarterback here. He'll be back to pass. This one across the middle. That one is another easy interception.
Wow.
For the Sun. That is a Washco once again. No, it's not. That's 18, not 16. How could I doubt for a second that Aldrich Barrios wouldn't come up with another interception? That's number 4. This is getting crazy.
Yeah, that is. He's going to have more interceptions in this game than I had in my career. I think he might have actually just tied me. I'm going to have to go look that up when I get home.
I mean,
that is phenomenal.
I mean, not a defensive back yourself. It's a little bit of apples and oranges there, but
whatever.
This is an unbelievable performance. So it's a penalty for an illegal block on the Sun at the end of that play, but
yeah, I'm sure there's not betting lines on BCFC Player of the Week, but if there were betting lines, I would definitely go put a paycheck on him pulling that out with the 4 picks in the game.
Yeah, wow, Aldrich Barrios there is the Sun really lining up in victory formation at this point.
Yeah, just taking a knee. Although I think with the clock as it is, that may force him to kick.
Yeah, I believe so, because there's still 1 minute and 20 seconds left up on the clock. No matter there,
I'm not sure if we're at a 35 or 45 second game clock.
Well, no matter, Sun going to take the knee here on first down there. They just did, so they'll reset the ball now here, making it 3rd down. They'll take the knee, I guess, and hand it over to the Huskers. But I mean, a tough play there. You have to feel for Valley. Obviously, with Nika in there, I mean, his arm is not his strong point as a quarterback at this point in his BCFC career, and you're just trying to force something there and make a play. So, while a good performance by the Sun secondary,
there, it's hard to blame the quarterback too much. I mean, it wasn't as strong a pass as you want it to be, but it did hit the receiver in the hands before, where like the receiver should have been there. Like it was right there. And yeah, too many tipped balls winding up in Sun's hands today. Too many receivers not quite reaching for passes in their reach.
So with that turnover on downs off the Sun taking knee, just 41 seconds left in this one, where one final offensive series here for the Huskers upcoming. Nika takes the shotgun snap. There's a handoff there. It's to Fadak, who has a decent gain, another 6-yard run for Garrett Fadak.
On that draw again.
Yep.
I definitely think the Sun need to work on that in practice. Their teams are going to keep trying to run it on them in games and be pretty successful. Like, I'm sure that's the longest average yards per carry run type against the Sun.
Takes the line of scrimmage up to the 45-yard line here. Huskers, who completed the goal of getting points on the board tonight with another run to Fadak here, but he won't get much past that line of scrimmage. Everybody on that Sun line waiting for him there.
One of Fadak's few runs this game where I haven't thought he would go out at least in the 5-yard range.
Yeah, absolutely. He's put up good numbers on the ground in this second half. And I wonder if a pass attempt coming up with Marius Engel coming in off the bench. Seen a couple receptions from him. Jacob Penner will line up as the other wide receiver on the line. Now he'll cut back into the slot. Pass off his back foot here by Nika. He was looking over to the far side there for Jared Annis. It falls incomplete. The clock will run down. And this football game has mercifully come to its conclusion here at the Apple Bowl. Final score, the Sun 71 and the Huskers 7. Take a quick break, come back, talk a little bit about how this game got to where it did. We'll look ahead to the next week as well. You've been listening to BCFC Football right here on AM 1150.
Sizzling summer savings are on at Dr. Specs Optical. If you've been thinking of updating your style, now is the time. Purchase a complete pair of eyewear with coating and save 50% off your frames. Choose from any frame in the store, and they're all 50% off when you purchase a complete pair of eyewear. Saturday eye exam appointments and direct billing for most insurance plans available. Dr. Specs Optical and Paracoptometry in Orchard Plaza, bringing life back into focus online at drspecsoptical.ca.
Win or lose, touchdown or turnover, JDS Energy and Mining is proud to support local sports in Kelowna. They believe it's important to put youth at play where they can learn to be leaders. They believe in the habits and values learned from working in a team. They believe the skills today youth learn in organized sports will strengthen our community. JDS Energy and Mining, a proud